Welcome to the Late Night with Chalky podcast.
Friends and family, brothers and sisters, welcome to the Late Night with Chalky podcast.
Well, cheers. Our guest this week is a ripper from New Jersey who's known as a cold water warrior and a top 16 surfer in New York and Jersey. Made the cut, huh?
Oh, I'm stoked.
This pro surfer turned sales rep for Hurley is still a major threat out in the lineup. And man, the barrels and surf clips this guy drops at his home breaks makes me jealous. We welcome to the show Mr. Tommy, Tickle, Ihnken.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Good, thanks for showing up. So we were able to snag you away from Hurley sales meetings because you were just here for a couple days.
Yeah.
So thanks for making the time.
No worries, I'm stoked. We got to get dinner in and bail a little early to hang out with you guys. So.
And how long have you been with Hurley now?
I'll be going on 5 years this October. So yeah, it's quite a bit of time, and yeah, it's been an awesome experience, man. Yeah.
We love, obviously Simpo
Yep.
is a big part of Huntington Beach.
Yep.
2-time U.S. Open champion and
Tour surfer and
Yeah.
just ambassador of Stoke and
He's
Huntington.
Incredible guy, dude. He's
Yeah.
just an incredible human, man.
He's fired up.
and Spides.
The sickest dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
He's rad. I'm sure there's more people we know there.
Yep.
But we're big fans of them, but also that they sponsor a lot of the local kids that ride for Board Riders Club.
Yeah,
For
and
us.
and even like from when I first started, Rhett's been nothing but supportive of our local surf community and like getting kids on board and really like understanding how important it is to back the youth.
Yeah.
Like he does such an incredible job doing it across the board. So hats off to Brett because that guy's the man. It's like you grew up looking up to that guy and seeing him in videos when you're a kid and then seeing him on tour, but then you meet him in person. He's just like the most down to earth, just frothed out guy.
For sure.
Yeah. And like Hurley as a brand, dude, they're still selling well in shops.
Yes.
Killer team still.
Killer team. I mean,
And they do a lot
the
towards
past world champs have been fucking, Hurley people. They're still on the podium.
I mean, like, for a minute they had, half the tour. Like, in the chokehold, as far as like the team riders, like it was like they had the best of the best, But yeah, we still are like so strong, with the team and just sponsoring events. And I think that's the coolest part is like seeing the direction they went in and, some of the mistakes they made, but still able to kind of navigate through all that and still be so relevant in course surf.
Yeah.
But also, go in that other direction and, appeal to a whole different customer. So it's like, it's definitely very inspiring. And you just see a lot of other big brands kind of going that way too. It's like, you have to survive somehow. And it's just a different world, nowadays.
And what's crazy is like, it's a bummer, when brands get big, they get bought, they get licensed, but sometimes it's not a bad thing.
No.
To be honest, I mean, if you look at some of the best brands that are doing well in action sports, they've been around forever and they've been bought and sold and they've, you know what I mean?
For sure.
they're still paying attention to the core customer.
Yeah.
They're still supporting the young kids.
I think that's the biggest thing is just like, you have to realize where you came from and like where the company, you still have to be relevant in the core market.
Yeah.
First and foremost. And I think that's, it's just cool to see, the people that are running the company now still understand that and give us, our power to still be relevant in core and do events and support us in that way, too.
Yeah, and it is tough, like Lyndon said, because there's a lot of trash talk or a lot of just, people just wanting to throw a brand under the bus because, it got bought by some suit and ties that don't even surf. Yeah, that does happen, but look at the front of the brand. Look at the designers, look at the sales rep, look at the athletes. Like, there's so many people that are being supported by these brands still, so it's like, talk trash, but also be like, hey, they're making, they're surviving, a ton of families with, opportunity and sustainable. Yeah. So it's like, it's a slippery slope of like, hey, yeah, people make mistakes, brands go different directions, make, lame calls or whatever. It happens to everybody, smallest little brand to the biggest. There's always like, hurdles and setbacks and stuff.
Definitely.
But yeah, the fact that they support, authentic.
Let's dive into how it all started for Pickles.
Tickles.
Oh man, I don't know, where do I begin? Well, growing up, I didn't really grow up on the beach, right? So I was probably like 5 miles from the coast, but in Jersey, like 5 miles seems like an eternity away from the beach, right? Like just
5 miles like shit, bro.
Yeah, it really isn't. But like, man, there just wasn't a ton of kids that surfed. My dad, he grew up in North Jersey, but he surf. I guess he learned how to surf in the summer when he was young, but he would make the trip down all the time. If there was a swell to go and surf. Throughout his youth. But my dad taught me how to surf when I was really young. I was probably like 4 or 5. He got me on a board, and then
What kind of surfing did your dad do?
he,
Shortboarder.
Shortboarder. Growing up, he longboards now. When he can get in the water, but shortboard. And I like remember him. My family were in a beach house every year in Long Beach Island, and that's like my first memories of surfing. And then probably when I was about 8 or 9, he bought me like an old 80s board. It was like a McCoy, I think.
Wow.
It's like big old tangible board, and kind of like really started to surf whenever I could when I was like 8 or 9. And then
What beach?
Brick Beach. It was like a small little beach. Probably like,
Long Beach Island?
no, this is like in between like Point Pleasant and Seaside. That's where like we would go to the beach. So I remember like going down there surfing, and then I got to a point where like my mom and my dad were like comfortable enough to like let me go surf with just my mom at the beach. Like my dad didn't have to be there anymore. So kind of like started teaching myself, because there was no surf schools back then, or surf camps or whatever. And I remember I got my first like real board. It was rusty, like bladed out, like super rockered out, 90s style board, and I couldn't stand up on it. I went from surfing this like beefy like 80s tank
To just a little.
and I got so frustrated. I'll never forget.
Where did you get the rusty?
From Brave New World.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember like brand new. I remember like I had my eyes on this thing. It had this like sick red and black pinstripes.
Who was
6'1", 18 and a quarter,
Yeah.
2 and a quarter.
Who were you? What surfers were you like idolizing?
So like back then, I don't really like remember like idolizing a specific guy, but like my dad would have all these like sick, like old school VHSs from like Hawaii, like.
Well, that's my era.
Yeah.
VHS tapes.
And just watching those things and not knowing anyone's name or whatever, just like idolizing these like guys, getting tubed or whatever. And I just remember getting so frustrated not being able to surf on the, stand up on this thing and like surf. And
Brand new rusty though.
brand new rusty, but like probably like at the end of the summer, there was this one session where if my dad pushed me in, I could get up and get down the line or get to my feet. But like,
How old are we talking?
like 8, like 9 or 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still small.
Small,
It's still like hard to catch your own waves.
Yeah, for sure. And at home, it's like, it's a little
Punchy shore break.
punchy shore break, and gets really windy during the day. Like in the summer, the south wind comes up, and it's not easy. But the one day it clicked. I remember I paddled for this wave. The wave caught me, and I just like, I'll never forget it. I stood up, I'm a goofy footer, and I was going left, and I just got up in the sweet spot and trimmed down the line, and made it down the entire wave, and I kicked out, and I was just like, holy shit.
That's what it's about.
And like I'll never forget that wave. Like I could like remember like everything.
Yeah.
So that's when I really, I think, got hooked. So.
And that McCoy board, were you going down the line on that?
No, like I was trying to just like like belly ride like the whitewater in and stand up, and like the wave would reform and I could cut, but it was just such a tank. Like it was kind of just like hop on and hold, kind of hold on for dear life until the wave would calm down and get to my feet.
Yeah.
But
that wave was the first time you stood up.
Yeah.
And started going down the line before.
And like figured out the timing of like when to paddle and when to stand up, because it was such a big jump, in equipment.
Yeah.
Well, that and going straight is typically, learning in the whitewater, and where you said maybe it backs off and when you trim down the line and you're in the wave, it feels like you're going way faster. It's way smoother. It's just everything about it is.
I'll never forget
intense.
like the feeling of that rail catching and like feeling the glide and like feeling the rail.
This
engage.
board's the best board ever.
Pretty much.
This board doesn't work on anything.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, remember, like, you get your first, like, little chippy board and you're, like, out there and you're, like, I remember, like, trying to sit in it and being, like, whoa, you know, like, couldn't even, like, straddle the thing.
Yeah.
But,
And I mean, paddling a
Yeah.
tank versus a blade.
yeah.
It's,
That too, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
how gnarly is it when you, because now that you look back, right? You're like, fuck, you probably could have ripped on that board
Yeah.
if you gave it more time or like learned a couple more things,
Yeah.
right? But you made it harder on yourself to learn on the blade.
For sure. And it was, like, at that time, too, like I said, where, like, my dad, like, you know, he still works full time. So it was, like, my time in the ocean, my dad was very limited, you know, like, and he's, like, heavy construction, like, you know, up in the city. And, yeah, it was, like, I made that serious jump in equipment, and I was also doing it by myself. So it was, like, it was a big...
No friends joining you?
No, not really. I had, you know, as I got older, like I had friends that, you know, that I met through surfing, or like I remember my neighbors started surfing and things like that. But this was like at a time where it was like my mom would take me down to the beach and she would put the umbrella up and I would just jump in the water and just kind of watch other kids in the water and try to learn from them. But
Was there a lot of surfers?
not nearly as many as there were now, you know. I remember like just seeing a couple of kids that knew what they were doing and just being like, you know, just studying it and just trying to do what they were doing.
What is that, early 90s?
Yeah, like mid, so I was born 91, so like, yeah, like late 90s.
Late 90s,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, like 96, 97, I guess.
Yeah.
And was you got the Rusty at Brave New World?
Brave New World.
And was that your like spot to hang, or was there other shops that you kind of?
So like this is when, again, I was still super young, but I was like that's the big
That's
shop.
the big shop.
That's the big shop. That's
Yeah.
the shop with all the boards. And like I remember like my mom would go take us there to go shopping, you know, for clothes, but like, you know, their whole upstairs is a board room, and I would just go up there and just like, you know,
Yeah,
just
super
drool
cool.
over over these boards. And I think that thing was on sale. I think
What
it's
was
on
it?
their
What was it
active-
in? Do you remember like
I don't-
5?
it was definitely like 6 or 6 long, but it was a full blade. I don't remember the date,
Yeah.
but it was like, yeah.
If it's in the 90s in the stock board, there was probably
Right when you said that, I was thinking like Kalani Robb, Shane
Mhm.
Powell.
Mhm.
Remember Shane Powell's
so
riding for
good.
Rusty?
Yeah.
And he fucking rode, all those guys rode blades.
Rusty was like such a big part of that surf scene in that time, you know, where it
Yeah.
was like those boards were like the pinnacle, you know, like they were just as sick as
Rusty and Merrick's
And
were,
Merrick's.
were
Yeah. Well, in America had Kelly and Tom and Rob, but Rusty had Aki, Taylor Knox, the Hobgoods, Kalani Robb, Pat O'Connell, Shane Powell. Like
Yeah.
the list goes long. I can't even name them all because there was like such a
That's
like
like,
goods.
yeah Hobgoods.
yep. But that's like one of the first real, like not real surf movies, but like surf movies I can remember like watching on repeat was Endless Summer 2.
Oh,
with
shit.
Pat O'Connell,
Yeah.
you know, like I would watch that and fall asleep to it every night, and like him on the Rusty in that, you know, movie was just like, I don't know, like idolized it. Just thought it was the coolest thing ever.
There was a really
It's
cool
cool
movie.
that Pat was part of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the first one was insane.
Yeah, it was insane.
And the second one pretty much did it justice. You know what I mean?
For
it was
sure.
a good
Update.
Update, for, yeah, exactly. Because like
sequel.
when you're that young, it was like the first, like now you appreciate so much more. When you get older, you appreciate so much more. But like when you're that young of a kid, it was a little like outdated. It almost felt like for me, you know. But like the second one, it was like it felt so much more like
Yeah.
I don't know, present.
Yeah.
Um,
And were you like fully immersed in the surf culture?
so like I said, I grew up a good ways inland, and I was like
5,000.
Yeah, 5 miles inland. But just to give it a little perspective, like my town was massive. It has 11 elementary schools, 3 middle schools, 1 high school.
Dang.
Damn.
And I'm like on the most like.
What town is that?
It's called Howell. They call it Howlbama. It's like all farmland, and you know I live like on the very like southeast tip of town. So it's like there's kids that went to school that live 30 miles further in than me. You know, like
Just one high school?
1 high school. There's like almost
Everybody
4,000 kids.
Wow.
Everyone from all
Howell.
Howell High School, Alabama.
We have 4 high schools in Huntington, and each of them is about 4,000 kids.
Which is crazy.
It's huge.
It's massive.
Like,
Yeah. It's massive. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 per grade,
That's
or
insane.
give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like there's probably like don't even know, a handful of kids that started from high school out of all those kids, like
Yeah.
4, 5, 6.
And it's hard at that age when you're real young, and then once you become friends with somebody that drove, or older kids,
Yeah.
if you're lucky, or older sibling,
Yeah.
then it really opens up your opportunity and
Yeah.
network and everything else, because that's your new hunt.
Yeah.
Well, mom and dad got to work, so and so's got a car, or he can
Yeah.
borrow a car, and then you get on the.
I grew up like in the stick, so it was like I couldn't really ride my bike to the beach at that age.
Yeah.
I was like a huge BMX kid, and everyone in my neighborhood was like BMX. That was what we did, right? Because it was just woods behind my house. We had dirt jumps and all this, and I was actually like.
I see your clips. You're still mountain biking.
Yeah, still mountain biking. So I came back to that later in life, and that was supposed to be for exercise, but can't take the BMX. Right?
Couple kickers.
Yeah. But I was really into BMX racing, and my dad kind of burnt me out of it. Like, he was super gnarly.
Like, made you race and shit?
Like, if I lost, like, he'd freak out. Like shit like that. Like full
soccer dad stuff.
Yeah. And he was like drinking a bunch back then too, so like that wasn't helping. But I remember like I was like in fucking like Kentucky or something at like Grand Nationals, and I fucking lost. Like I got like 5th or something. He like freaked out, and I quit. I remember like getting in the minivan, being like, I'm done doing this shit. I'm not racing. I was 11.
Yeah.
And
fucking 11. All that
pressure. Yeah. We were driving all over the freaking country
it's
every
your fault
weekend.
though, because you were good.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
he saw your
yeah.
potential here, and you came up just below.
Just below.
It's got to be tough. I mean, you're gonna go through it too,
Yeah.
right? Because we all live vicariously through our kids,
Oh yeah.
and you want your kids to blow up.
I already feel like that. My kids aren't even 2 yet. Like,
You know what I mean?
like
as parents, we're like, dude,
yeah.
bro, like you're gonna,
Yeah.
you want them to like outshine you
Exactly.
and live vicariously through them.
Yeah.
But it does suck being the kid being yelled at or whatever.
Yeah, it was just one of those things.
What bikes did you ride?
I work for this company called MCS, and like the race world is like a totally different world than like the, freestyle world, whatever you want to call it. It's just a different animal with different companies. But I work for this company called MCS, like a factory rider or whatever. But you're pretty much,
Did your dad ride or no?
Yeah, he raced BMX when he was a kid. Yeah, like one of the
He was a badass
Yeah, he's
too.
bad. Yeah, and he raced motorcycles and shit. So I was throwing skip. Yeah,
Well, that's why he was so passionate about you
100%.
doing well, because
Just following in my footsteps, bro.
But I remember when I stopped, I was like, I always loved the ocean, and then I was just starting to able to get like rides with other kids to the beach and things like that. So I was getting in the water more, and I just always loved being in the ocean. And I think I got like a fly or two or something, like around that time, and like really started to kind of click. I remember like being able to like do turns and like do floaters, and then like I got like.
Because that's like a really user-friendly board that works in all conditions.
Yup.
That's a game changer when you
It's
can
like
get
one
on.
of the first kind of grovelers, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Groveler, but yet it like
High performance.
But high
performance.
performance, yeah. But I remember even that board was like, it was probably like 5'8" or something, so it was definitely a bit bigger than me, but like I was able to throw it around and like really start to get the feel of like how to turn and how to link things together, and then I guess just,
Back on the BMX, so you're sponsored, you get free shit.
Yeah, but like I was so young, I don't really know, like I remember I'd get like free frames or like this and that, and then I'd have like a shop sponsor, maybe they'd throw you a free helmet or things like that.
Yeah.
But like you
Because it's a big deal. That's kind of a big deal.
And back then, like in the 90s, like BMX was still like, especially BMX racing, it was like a big deal. Like, there was money in it and things like that. And I remember the community was awesome. Like I always had a great time doing it. Besides when my dad would like freak out.
It's pretty big out here too.
it was.
Yeah. And I always stayed even if I took a break, I always went back into BMX at some point. Now I'm like, doing the mountain bike thing too, which is great. And a lot of guys that I used to, or especially older guys that I used to ride mountain bikes now, because it's a little more like forgiving with suspensions and things like that.
Yeah.
But like I went back and rode park and dirt jumps for a while. Like I think from 11 to like 13 or 14 I didn't ride at all. And then like I got a BMX bike and like would just go to the park, like skate parks or like ride dirt jumps. Like I've always loved.
Free riding now.
Yeah,
You know,
I always
like
love
bikes.
BMX or bikes in general, man.
Yeah,
It's just,
yeah.
That's always been a huge part of my life.
Nice.
You know,
So then you get the flyer,
get the flyer,
progressing surfing.
doing a couple like free contests, for like a year or two or in the summers or whatever, and then I got my first like custom board. It was like a 5.4 Pulse.
Pulse.
Yeah, Pulse surfboards. I don't know where they're out of. I remember like they were one of the first companies to do the XTR. They were doing stuff with the XTR foam and stuff like.
How did you connect with them?
Through a surf shop at home called Third Ave that isn't around anymore. But my dad and the guy became, I think he saw me and my dad surfing and they became friendly and ordered a board through them. And
Did you get the order form and like?
I don't know, I just remember like getting a custom board. Like I think my dad ordered it for me, or maybe the guy told my dad, hey, you should probably be around something like this. And I got that board and that's when it really started to click. I was like,
Well, it's like it whipped this thing around.
Whip this thing around. And that summer, O'Neill was doing those Grand Prix contests, and they did one in Jersey. And I remember I was like really sick, but I really wanted to do this contest. It was in South Jersey. And my dad's like, "You want to do it? I'll drive you down there." I did the contest and I won the contest. And Gary Clayton was the O'Neill rep.
Yeah.
And I got sponsored by O'Neill, like Flow or whatever.
That's
And
huge.
that was huge.
So
I wasn't expecting any of this.
Were you doing contests before that contest?
I was like randomly
Just a little
doing
bit.
contests,
And how did you do?
I was like do good, but they weren't really like. It was like very local, like it was like a shop putting on a contest, and it was like 10 kids that I'd always see surfing kind of thing. But this was like a big deal, like
Brought in talent from up and down the coast.
up and down like the state coast,
Yeah.
and
So it's
Legit.
an O'Neill like Grom contest.
yeah,
Okay.
and I won it, and Gary was like, yeah, like, well,
What kind of prize packs did they have?
Yeah, I got like stickers that day and shit, and I wasn't expecting any of it, and that's when I was like, well, like I really want to do this, and like,
Yeah.
I guess I'm pretty good at this, And I just remember my dad saying like, hey, like, I'll never push you the way I pushed you at BMX. Like,
That's cool.
I'll do whatever you want to do with this thing, but like, just know I'm not gonna burn you out on this, which was cool to me because I really did like. That's when it really like became a part of my life.
Yeah.
Not because I won the contest, but like just around that time.
Yeah.
I think that kind of like really like solidified it for me. I was like, I guess I'm pretty good at this. And
Yeah.
I really love it.
It's a huge confidence booster for sure,
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm having fun. Dad's not pressuring me,
Yeah.
and I'm getting these killer like prize packs. As we talk about, like, getting a little medallion or trophy in,
Mhm.
the bragging rights, but the getting all the gear,
Yeah. It's like getting like a stick,
It's-
like yeah.
like wetsuits, backpacks, fins, leashes, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Clothes, free clothes,
Yeah.
everything.
and then being able to like show up to school
Yeah.
in your O'Neill gear,
Yeah.
and people are like, "What's that?"
And that was even crazier for me
I
because like.
fucking might for these guys.
Yeah. And like for me, it was so foreign. Like I remember like none of the kids in like my elementary school surfed or middle school or whatever. So it was like, oh, like that's the surf kid. Because like I said,
Yeah.
like 5 miles doesn't seem far, but like where I live, it was like, dude.
It's mind blowing
Yeah,
how
like-
you make it sound like you're in the country.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
When you say sticks,
but
I'm
when
like,
you go there, it's
holy
just farmland. Like,
Yeah.
It's like
But
or
but
like
from,
close, yeah.
from us, when we say inland, we're talking like
Way.
yeah,
Yeah.
other side of the freeway,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, at least.
Like, and that's a hell of a long way
Yeah.
to the freeway.
Yeah.
So that's funny.
But it was-
5 miles in.
Yeah.
But we've talked to so many like important figures in our industry, and a lot of them grew up like pretty far from the beach when they were young.
Yeah.
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 An hour plus.
I think that makes me more hungry though. Like I didn't take my time for granted when I got back to the beach.
Yeah.
Like I was, very grateful.
So what became your like local break?
So Manasquan was like the closest. That was about 5 miles. Manasquan, and I mean, Bayhead, Point Pleasant, give or take 5 to 7 miles. So like anywhere between Belmar and Bayhead was kind of like where I was surfing on any given day if I can get around to the beach.
Yeah.
Same if you had an e-bike back then.
Dude, I would have killed that e-bike back then.
So if you, okay, were you like a summertime surfer in the beginning?
In the beginning, and then I remember I got like a shitty 4.3, and like this is backtracking when I was still kind of like in that learning stage, like
Yeah.
8 or 9 kind of. My dad got me like a 4.3 rip curl with like the ankle zippers, but there was no hood or anything. Like, remember I went out, I froze to death, I fucking hated it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing this.
Hurts.
It hurts. Like,
It
I
hurts.
remember, like, I couldn't even focus on surfing. I got flushed. Like,
Just hurts.
hurts. And, yeah, I didn't winter surf, so I was like a summer surfer until I was probably, I would say, like, 11 or 12 around that time. Yeah.
You got the O'Neill sponsorship.
The O'Neill sponsorship. Still, you know, no finals back then for kids. So I was running the 4-3 with the rashy, with the hood attached and all that. But, you know, at least it was.
Booties and
Yeah.
getting into more proper gear.
Yeah.
Because that's a true test of commitment.
For sure. Like, especially, I mean, you know, I was psyched to get a free wetsuit, but, you know, you got 1-4-3, the water's 38 degrees or whatever it is, and you're in this shitty, you know, 4-3 that's not taped with a, you know, hooded rash guard and some shitty boots and gloves and like surfing multiple sessions. I remember like running into my dad's car and just like sitting in the heat for like 45 minutes and then running back out and surfing for half an hour or
like people that don't know, and I've never surfed that cold of water, but
Neither.
it's a whole different breed of people, that the commitment and, you know, the pain
It's
that
serious
it is,
commitment.
but the pain, the cold, if you're not properly, like, even if you have the best gear, it's still gnarly.
It's gotten so much easier, you know, but like even now it's still not easy. Like it's mentally you have to like really, you know,
Gear up
for it.
Yeah.
Especially if the waves are pumping and you're surfing all day and it's like, you know, you get fortunate enough if you're sponsored, you have some money where you have multiple suits and things like that, but still like physically takes it out of you, man. Like the cold water just, you know, it zaps you.
Yeah.
Multiple
You
suits.
can't-
It does, yeah.
Yeah, it sucks the air out of you.
Oh yeah.
Cold water.
Yeah.
And the ice cream headaches and the fucking
And the water is just so much denser when it's that cold. So just paddling, it's like you're using so much energy to paddle. And
wet cement.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like freaking pudding.
And 5 mils don't dry.
No.
So you better have multiple suits
Exactly.
because.
Yeah.
That's where like the sprinter van comes in handy. That was the best investment I've ever made.
But you know, it's like it takes a couple days, you know, and if you put them in the dryer, you know, people do it.
Yeah.
You just shorten the life of the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
it's-
like my mom driving to the beach when I was a kid and like doing multiple sessions, like having to get out of the car and putting like a wet, freezing cold wetsuit on outside of the car and then getting back in the car and like trying to warm up in between sessions, like, you know.
Was it Quicksilver that did the heated vest?
They did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been. I would have. I
It's
definitely
had a
had
good
one of
run for a
those.
minute. Yeah. People were definitely buying those things.
Yeah. So once you were getting into surfing and now you're sponsored, who do you remember being like, you know, oh shit, that guy, like
Sam Hammer.
Yeah.
Sam Hammer.
Yeah. Like
And was Frank Walsh was a lot
Frankie,
older, right?
I think Frankie and Sam are around the same age.
Okay.
But Sam just lived in my area, where Frankie was like a South Jersey guy. But that was like the first guy I remember being like, holy shit,
Sam was the-
you know, that
Yeah.
Sam was it. You know?
'Cause-
Legit.
yeah.
Like I started working for
And Randy Townsend.
Who was it?
Randy Townsend.
Randy
Townsend.
Townsend.
He used to rap Fresh Jive. Back in the days, at LBI guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever heard of him.
Randy's the man. So
Gnarly?
he's gnarly. He was a wild dude. Like I was talking about this to him like not too long ago. Like we do that Garden State grudge match.
Yeah.
And like I remember my dad took me to go watch that the first year they ever had it. It was like Dean Randazzo, like Sam, Frankie, all those dudes. But Randy like used to have these like gnarly nipple rings. These like fat
Full
fucking-
Jersey
yeah.
surfer.
And like the nutsest like dyed hair and shit. I'm like, that dude's sick. And he's from LBI and like my family, like I don't know if they had like a long-term rental in Long Beach Island, but we'd go down there and just like hang out in the winter and like remember the wave where my family's house was like on one of the better waves down there. And like I would go down and when the waves were pumping, Randy would be surfing out front and like snowing out and shit, but like I'd just watch him like in awe and he'd be like around the beach and like, that was sick. And he'd come and give me a high five. He was just like the friendliest dude. So
That's cool.
yeah, him and Sam are like my first two like, you know,
Rad.
heroes.
Yeah.
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 Because I mean,
Yeah.
you know, when you start being into it, and then you start looking around at the fucking talent,
Yeah.
you know, you start seeing these guys. Like Sam Hammer was getting shots in the mag.
Oh,
sure.
yeah. That
Frankie
was
Walsh was.
Yeah.
Dean Randazzo, 30.
Legend.
legendary.
Jersey.
Quicksilver. You wrote for Quicksilver when you were riding for Quicksilver.
Yeah,
right?
he was a Quicksilver rider for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. So like, and then you know, as I got more into it, and I remember just my dad like would take me up if the waves were like pumping, we would just go watch where, oh, like these guys are probably surfing here. And I remember going up to Jenks, which is like my, became like my local break,
Jenks?
Jenks, yeah, which is in Point Pleasant. It's kind of like a shorey, almost like, I wouldn't say like the wedge. It's a little more surfable, but like again, like just really close to the beach, right on this inlet. Dumpy. And it used to be a lot better before a couple storms, came throughout the years. But I just remember like watching Sam. I think he broke like 3 boards in like 40 minutes, but just like, from me to you, or whatever, the wall there, just like packing closeouts and set stack or whoever, like sitting there at the camera, like, taking water photos, and I was just like jaw drop, like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'd come in and like throw his board, like, oh, sick,
It's so cool to see that in action and then see the pictures, because you grew up looking at magazines and you look at all these exotic barrel shots and you're like, oh, I bet that wave's so good. 9 out of 10 times it's just packing freaking Harley closeout.
Yeah.
Because that's where you get the wave just bottoms out, gets square. There's not a lot of reverb. It's a cylinder.
It's a cylinder, yeah, exactly.
And that's what they want.
Yeah.
They don't want a soft little oval. They want that thing like.
I just remember like before, like when print was still massive, like, and then like later on, like going out and like trying to link up with shots, like 9 times out of 10, if you got a good shot, you're just packing close out.
For sure.
First wave of the set, full close out. Try not to
I've
touch
had
the wall and just.
Photographers tell me to go out and I'm like, seriously, like. And then more often than not, you get a good photo, and I'm like, I almost died.
Yeah, I almost broke my neck.
But I got the shot.
Good shot.
Yeah. Any first shot ESM or like magazine where you kind of tail in? I mean, magazines were around for a little bit longer.
I remember getting shots in ESM, but not. I think I got like a Grom like interview or something. Like it was called like Who Da Guy. It was like Who Da Guy. Yeah, it was like an ESM thing. I was probably like 13 or something like that.
Nice.
And then there was a big magazine, at least for the East Coast, out of Puerto Rico, called Mundo Rap.
Yeah.
But it was big
Mundo
East Coast
Rap.
mag.
Yeah.
And I used to get a ton of shots in that.
Was that regional or is it?
It was out of Puerto Rico, but it was all East Coast and stuff like that. But it was like a very like quality mag, so that was like when I started getting some print stuff, and that's when I was riding for Ergo. So fast forward a little bit.
What shop did you ride for?
I kind of always rode for Bear Wires.
Nice.
I think there was a minute where like I maybe like Brave kind of wanted to do something, but they just didn't really have like the pull to do a real team.
Yeah.
The guys over there always wanted to do something, but it just didn't really make sense because they're such a big shop and they didn't really need it. Where like, I always Bear Wires. I always like I said, I always rode for Bear Wires.
Yeah.
Adam's the man.
Adam's the man. Brian's the man.
Yeah, that's who they're.
2 core as fuck dudes.
Core fucking dudes. I mean, me and Adam are putting on a Hurley Junior Pro. We're going to the Hurley Junior Jam in May. And like going back to doing
Next
the
month?
sport. Yeah, next month.
Oh,
Simpo's coming out for it, some athletes. So
Awesome.
yeah, but Adam's like, he's been core before core.
Yeah. Yeah. I first met him when the first shop when it was mostly skate, right?
Yeah. I used to work there.
You did?
Oh yeah.
What was that?
Adam and this dude Charlie King, who passed away, who's the man. They went and they partnered and opened that up. But
What town was that?
That was in Long Branch.
Okay.
So I think going into it, they were thinking more surf and skate, but it just made more sense to do more skate.
Yeah,
competition, surf
Skate
shops.
park was there. Yeah.
But it was like all the core surf dudes still.
Skateboarding. That's when I was working for DVS.
Yeah.
And I think that's the first time I met him.
Yeah.
And fuck, dude. Like looking back and like hearing your story, I was like, fuck, man. Like the surf scene is so huge.
Oh yeah.
You know, I was tripping because I come from here, right, where the surf scene's huge. Worked at the shop and saw the culture just blowing up, and then going over there and going, fuck it, they're just as frothy here.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Like when people don't experience it firsthand and then they go out and see it, they're like, this is like a very unique and also like very real core surf scene.
Yeah.
So it's
so you're in the sticks. You're 5 miles inland. There's no surf team.
No.
At your school.
No.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you didn't have surf class?
No surf class in my school. Yeah, I don't know. School was funny for me, man.
Were you a good student?
No.
All you did is want to surf and BMX.
So.
Did you graduate high school?
No.
Wow.
Got my GED. Fuck, what happened? Let's see. School. I was like a decent student, and then I went to high school, and I was traveling a bit for surfing. You know, I think I went to Hawaii the first year. Maybe I was in 8th grade or freshman year of high school, but
Hawaii?
To Hawaii. Yeah.
Was that your first like surf trip?
No, like I've been like Costa Rica, and I went on an ESM trip to Costa Rica for like a mag trip with a bunch of other groms, and Puerto Rico and Panama, you know.
So after the O'Neill thing, you were fully into surfing.
I did the O'Neill, so I rode for O'Neill until I was like 14 or 15. Did a couple like, you know, trips, like I remember I did an ESM trip with a bunch of groms from Jersey. It was called Camp Keen's. Matt Keenan ran it, and he ended up doing a couple more of those. I think I got a little too wild on that trip, and I wasn't invited back on the second and third one.
Where was the trip at?
It was to Costa Rica. It was to Playa Grande.
Nice.
And then
Matt Keenan through those?
Matt Keenan did that, yeah.
He's real.
Yeah, Matt's the man. Matt actually got me the job at Hurley. Yeah, he's the man. And then, you know, a couple trips to Puerto Rico because it was just so easy and things like that. But
Puerto Rico is like,
Hop, skip, and jiff. 3 hours.
it's a killer.
it's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killer waves. It's Mexico, Hawaii.
Yeah. It's an awesome
Yeah.
spot, especially being from the East Coast. It's like, it's so accessible.
Yeah.
You know, it's a 3-hour flight, no passport. Half people down there from Jersey or New York. It seems like, so, you know.
It's just a different neighborhood.
Yeah, but freshman year of high school, I was like doing some traveling, and then that's kind of when I stopped running for O'Neill, and Ergo picked me up, and they were kind of like, they had some money, and they were like really into, it was me and Brendan Buckley, were like 2 surf guys from Jersey, and then they had Josie Graves on Puerto Rico.
That's Dylan's brother.
Yeah, they had a couple guys from out this way.
Shay Lopez rode for him too.
Albie rode for him for a little bit.
Albie there?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Hector Santa Maria.
I'm now to bring it back. Yeah. like-
Ergo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had a big skate team too, like Sean Hale and David Lloyd, like they had a gnarly skate team.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's 2 dudes from Jersey.
yeah, two dudes from Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pete
And
and
they
Rob.
were in like the car dealerships, right?
Rob was in the car dealership, and Pete was his best friend. And I think Pete and him kind of like threw the idea around, and Rob's dad had the funding. But they were both really awesome guys, and you know, they did really good until it was over. But
Yeah, they gave it a run.
They gave it a hell of a run, and they made an impact. You know, especially in the skate stuff. Like those guys, you know, have a pretty big name for them in skate.
I mean,
And before we started the podcast, you brought it up a little bit about,
Yeah.
The Hurricane Sandy.
Yeah, so Hurricane Sandy. So the story is, from what I can remember, it was they had a bunch of product. I think it was maybe I forget what
It's a
season.
good
it was for.
season.
Yeah, but product in the container wasn't insured, so they lost all the product during Sandy. The container got flooded, and then they weren't able to get product in the door for the next couple seasons. And I think Rob's dad was on his way out, really retiring from the car business, and he kind of just handed over the dealerships to his son, which would kind of be no-brainer.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is a
Yeah. And Pete opened up a screen printing business. He actually just put a bunch of Hurley windows up for me at Brave New World. He's an awesome, screen printing business. So I think both those dudes, had a good.
landed on feet.
Exactly.
they're
yeah.
smarter than.
Yeah. I know they really. It was hard for them to walk away, but it was like they both had something good.
Yeah,
going.
it's hard to make a living in your passion.
It really is.
You know, like
Yeah.
it can happen,
Yeah.
but it's pretty fucking hard.
Yeah.
And when you say car dealership, clothing.
Cha-ching.
Yeah.
Car
Bunch
dealership,
of car dealership.
You know, you gotta look at
Yeah.
the pros and cons of each.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, if I put everything into Ergo,
Yeah. What's
I will lose everything
Exactly.
into Ergo.
Exactly.
And yeah.
But hey, kudos to those guys for
They made a sick run,
yeah.
and it was awesome to be a part of that company. Like,
And the names that you named off, like
Yeah.
those are fucking gnarly people.
so like and it was cool to be a part of that whole thing. And with the Josie Connect in Puerto Rico, I started spending a lot of time in Puerto Rico because we would stay at Josie's house, and it was just a great time, in my life, being that young and being able to go down there. And
Yeah.
So, what was your what do you think you were getting noticed for in your surfing?
I don't know. I think I don't know, man. That's a good question.
Like, what was your stick? Like, did you just ripped everything? Did you like?
He's laid back.
I really
He
don't
did a
know, man.
bunch of big airs.
I don't really remember being noticed for much of it. I guess people just thought I was a decent surfer.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess I had a good personality. You know.
Yeah.
Like I think as I got older, I kind of was like more like okay. Like I even like back then I remember like not feeling super comfortable like at home when it was really big and gnarly, like because I was still kind of like a smaller dude, and it's like you get throttled at home in the winter. You know,
Yeah.
like, I was out there like rubbing shoulders, but like I don't know. I still think I was still like coming to in my surfing where it's like I feel more comfortable in my surfing now than I've ever felt at this age. But I don't know. I feel like people saw something in me. Like
Yeah.
I was definitely always progressing. And like Brandon was like a gnarly air guy for back then, and like I remember just like always watching him and wanting to do airs, and like I got was like get better at doing airs, but also like I felt like my backside was pretty good, so I was like I always kind of took pride in like I had a good backside, especially at home, like the waves. Most of the time when we get good waves, big south swells, so you're always going backside.
Or a lot of rights.
A lot of rights, so I don't know. I guess I have like a decent style.
What were after that pole sport? What were you starting to get into?
So I had that pole sport, and then my dad showed up with 2 like sick custom shark eyes one day. He didn't even tell me
Shark
what.
eyes.
Like sick. Like I went from this like kind of chunky 5'4" like epoxy like.
Oh yeah, the
poles,
flyer.
The poles, but
The
even
poles.
the poles, it was like a 5'4", but it was like really full in the rail. It was like floaty, and then we were at my like family's beach house down in LBI. He showed up after work one day. I think it was like a Friday because he wouldn't stay there during the week. We'd go down there for a couple of weeks every summer. And he showed up with just like these 2 sick sharp eyes, and one was like this little 5.0 like crazy like hot rod red with like a black stripe down the middle. I was like, and I
Did
remember
you custom order them?
he ordered them for me. I didn't even know he ordered them.
That is wow.
Yeah, so he just like showed up out of his pickup truck and was like, "Look what I got you." And I was like, pad was already on and everything, and I just took it out and like, dude, I remember it was like the equivalent of feeling like I was swinging a weighted bat my whole life to getting on that thing. And just being like, I remember like my first 2 waves, it was like almost like too responsive. I was like, what the, how the fuck do you
So
say?
you control the speed and the looseness.
But that's when it really clicked. Like those 2 boards, that's when it like clicked. Yeah.
And did you
Isn't it crazy? You went from that McCoy clunker 80s board to the 90s blade, and then the Pulse was
that was the next step.
That was the next step, and then Sharp Eyes.
It was like a cool.
And that was when Sharp Eye was kind of starting to.
Sharp Eye was big on the East Coast stuff, like in New Jersey, like Gleason was riding Sharp Eyes. Mike Gleason, like he was just, one of my guys I looked up to and was able to do some trips with growing up when I got older. But like he was a big Sharp Eye guy. Ryan Kimmel, I don't know if you know who Ryan Kimmel is.
Sounds familiar.
He lives in LA now, but he was another Vulcan guy charged from Jersey. They were like pretty popular, in that early 2000s, mid 2000s at home.
Yeah. Who? I mean, Felipe is the one that kind of put them on the map.
Yeah.
Right. But I remember when I was still at HSS, we started carrying him a little bit, but I don't remember like what's
It's crazy, like
what a popular surfer kind of like.
It had to be Felipe.
It had to have been Felipe, but.
And then Iragashi was on him after.
Yeah. But when I was at HSS, Felipe wasn't even around.
Yeah, I'm trying to think the same thing. It was like,
but he's been around.
There was
since
no
like
marquee like
90s
athlete that was winning.
Was there anyone out here riding them?
Not too
You
much.
can remember? Because they were like
Xanadu was bigger.
Xanadu was bigger.
Xanadu
For whatever
was-
reason or another, dude, they were like really like. I just remember they were super popular, like in Jersey. I don't know how they got over there or what, but
Yeah.
Alright,
Well, they had
great-
Gleason
great.
riding. for
like
them.
remember Mark from No Flat Earth?
Sort of.
He like does some repping stuff now. I don't know if he does anymore.
Was
but
he like red hair?
no, like short dude, brown hair.
Okay.
It was No Flat Earth was a surf shop. It was actually a little bit inland. They did skates, no surf. But I remember like those guys had them, and then just guys around home are riding them. But I don't know. That was like my first.
So he got you 2.
Two. He got me a 5.0 and a 5.2 step up round tail.
Yeah.
But that's when it really clicked. That's when I was like, okay,
And where
I
did
felt
you get
myself
those?
getting better like every session, or at least I thought so.
Yeah.
What shop did he get those from?
He ordered them from that Third Ave surf shop,
Okay.
which isn't around anymore. But yeah, that guy TR Devaney, who owned the shop, was a pro, a 90s pro from Jersey, Rick. And his kid surfs really well. Cole Devaney now is a great team rider and Vulcan little team rider.
Yeah.
A little younger than me, but yeah, man child of a human, but surfs really good. Yeah.
So Sharp Eye took you to the next level.
Yeah, it took me to the next level, and then I was on the Mayhems after that forever.
Yeah. Been on those for.
Been on those for I've been riding a little bit of everything now. Then my buddy Brad Flora, shaping thrash crafts, Maryland homie, but he lives out over in Bali most of the year. He's shaping out of there, but been helping him and riding some of his boards. But yeah, Matt and those guys over there pretty much,
Taking care of you.
Yeah, Matt is always taking care of me. He maps the,
And how did that relationship start?
I think I started getting some mayhems through Brave.
Lost tour.
Yeah.
Your party.
And yeah.
Just kidding.
So I did get a contract sent in the mail to me after taking Matt and someone else I was with them to a titty bar at home. I was like, yeah, I just lost my sponsor. They're like, not a company. They're like, well, son, I need your rad. And they like went to the titty bar and they went straight to the airport. And they were sending you a contract next week.
Hey, mixing business with pleasure.
And like Matt would and after that he would come out and like sleep on my couch when he'd come out and do like his little board tours and stuff. The funny story, one time when I was riding for Lost for that short period, Lost clothing for that short period, Matt was staying at my house and we were like partying or whatever. And I was living in a 2-story house, but it was like a subunit or whatever, like two different units. And my landlord was staying out, who's my friend, he was out for the weekend, so he's like, yeah, Matt can stay in my house downstairs or whatever, in my zone. And I remember being like all wasted and he's like, what's up, why aren't you wearing a Lost shirt or whatever? I'm like, you guys haven't fucking sent me a box of clothes in like fucking 4 months. I'm like, you sent me a bunch of board shirts when it was snowing out. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with these things? So he fucking leaves to go to the airport in the morning. He left all of his dirty laundry on my porch, and he goes, here's your box. He like texted me. He left me all the dirty clothes from the trip. And yeah.
Did you go, I don't wear double
Yeah,
XL.
exactly.
That is epic.
Oh man, he's the best,
It's so good to hear stuff like that because, he's this,
Salt of the earth.
like, for sure. Like, I mean, you follow him, you know him, he's got one of the biggest board brands in the world.
Yeah.
Super successful, kills it, but he is a grinder and he'll go and hit any tour, sleep on any couch, make it happen, especially back in the day.
That's why I think Lost really had a,
connection with like people and
in the entire country because no one else in America wasn't going out on the East Coast and freaking doing video tours or whatever they were doing in the 90s. Like Matt integrated himself into East Coast surfing and did it
paid his dues.
exactly.
Yeah.
Went over there and
Showed up and
I just remember idolizing. Those were some of the first videos I idolized, all the Lost moves. It was because you saw guys that you knew surfing waves that you surf and being like, holy shit, and then you'd see Wardo in the next video part in the movie. You know what I'm saying? It was just I always that. Those movies always held a special place in my heart because it was so real feeling.
Yeah.
Growing up here on the West Coast, and I go back to the East Coast, surf a couple cons here and there, but you didn't really know the culture until you went there, and you get that 1 week snippet or whatever. And then when I started working a service porter here and working in the industry, and how much business is done over there, you know why those people, those brands or shapers pay that much attention to it because it's huge.
It's crucial. It's crucial.
After California, there's a little surf scene in Oregon, a little bit in Washington, but not really.
Yeah.
You're talking New England down to Florida,
it's frothy.
It's
all
frothy
the way.
all the way. Yeah, it's massive.
I forget. I was talking to someone last week about it.
And now with shops, there's twice as many shops.
What the hell was I talking about? I was talking to someone last week about the whole Lost thing and how they really just took over the East Coast back then, and it was when you're in California, and they correct me if I'm wrong, but it's if you're from, Santa Barbara, you're not going to ride Mayhems, or if you're from San Diego, you're not going to ride, Merrick's or whatever. It's like you're kind of pigeonholed in your own state out here as far as like what boards you ride if you're from what zone. Where it's like the East Coast was free range.
Yeah.
And like didn't matter what state you're from. Like
if
if you went over there,
here, man.
if you went over there, it was pretty much
It's not as
it was.
yeah. Back then it was way more
Even like
regional, but now like everybody wears dirt rides, whatever.
But back then, like,
Back then it was definitely
Matt
different.
saw that opportunity and he ran with it, and like it made a huge impact on the East Coast and what we looked at.
Yeah, we'd see that in Mexico. We'd go to certain spots and it'd be like all one type of suit, whether
all
O'Neill, Rip Curl, or XL.
all
or,
body glove,
Yeah.
all Excel.
They just honed in there because it's ground zero. All the corporates were, kind of on the West Coast, and they kind of own their home court.
Yeah, it's crazy that when I worked at Huntington Surf and Sport, it was the Mecca.
Yeah.
U.S. Open there, the industry's in Orange County, and when you're there, you're thinking nothing beats what's happening here.
Yeah.
And then when I started working for other brands and started going to Florida and New England and Jersey, I'm just like, holy shit!
It's a whole different world.
People do as much or more business out here. Like it was cool to see.
Yeah.
And really like eye opening. How much of a big business surfing could be.
For sure. Yeah.
But so started riding for Lost.
Yeah.
And then what was your first job?
My first job I worked at
Sweeping
a
gas
surf
district
school,
and
probably.
Surf school.
It was either surf school or Surf Taco, which was like a restaurant over there next to Brave. I got
Those are
fired.
huge, right?
Surf
Wasn't
Taco.
the Rip Curl rep?
Ed started Surf Taco. He's one of the founders of
Yeah.
Surf Taco, and there's tons of locations now.
Over here, it's Taco Surf, dude.
Taco,
It's like,
yeah.
you gotta flip
Yeah,
on
yeah,
East
yeah.
Coast, West Coast.
Exactly. So I was like riding for those guys. They were like giving me, a little sponsorship deal, and they would pay for like one trip a year for me to go on. But I started working for them. But
Free holders?
yeah,
Because I remember when they were first starting to blow up.
yeah.
Like I remember it was a Rip Curl rep.
It was Ed Pierce was the Rip Pro rep for a long time in that zone, and I guess this other guy Rob started it. Yeah.
Okay.
It was either there. That was that was my first job, but that was pretty short lived. And then I just did surf lessons after that.
With Sam.
I worked for a different camp, Summertime Surf, which is a big camp, in that same area for many years, probably until I was like 19. And that's when Sam started his camp. He was probably around for like a year or two before I started working for Sam. And Sam was like, "Yeah, I want you to work for me." And those guys were, they were growing and making more money, but we weren't. We were making less money kind of thing,
Yeah.
So yeah, Sam went on board, and me and Sam, over the years became really tight. Started going on, doing strike missions with Sam, and really became good friends with Sam.
Yeah. I mean, not better fit for you. And,
100%.
Yeah.
And,
It's not always about the money, but I'm sure that came because your guys probably had a good clientele.
Yeah, and it was like, in the beginning, Sam's operation was much smaller, and I was, it was kind of right hand man, at least in one of the locations or whatever. So it was like, and it was just nice to work with him.
And what beach were you guys at?
I was mostly in Spring Lake, but the first camp was in Lavalette, where Sam grew up. So I kind of bounced back and forth between Lavalette and Spring Lake, and then after the first year, I think I ran the Spring Lake location for a while.
And Spring Lake is where Fairwaters is.
Where
there.
Fairwaters is, and there's a ton of
And
money.
Lavalette is Ocean Hut, right?
Ocean. Yep.
Okay. What else is in Lavalette? Is there another
Sam's,
shop?
no, well, Tyler, Shaded Vision.
Shaded Vision,
Shaded Vision,
yeah.
yeah. And then Sam's Famous Restaurant, Crab's Claws, right next to Shaded Vision. But, yeah, so we're
That's Sam's
parents' restaurant, yeah. Iconic restaurant.
Super iconic, right?
Super iconic.
Yeah. I haven't been to it, but definitely want to
Yeah,
go
you
there.
definitely gotta check it out.
Yeah.
It's the spot.
Yeah. So, how old were you when you first started that first camp?
I was probably 17. because I had to drive. Yeah, remember it was probably the summer I turned 17.
And what was it like? What did you do?
Bunch of summer tourists or
Yeah,
people?
just a lot of summer tourists. Like the summers. What was it? At the can't freaking brain fry right now.
But like
Spring breaks?
No, this first
Summertime?
summertime surf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Summertime surf was a pretty big operation for that time. It was definitely the biggest camp, and it was just
soft top beginners.
weekly kids filtering and full self-taught beginners. And it was a full 6-hour camp. It wasn't like, come learn a land lesson and go north for 2 hours. It was 6 hours. We did stuff on the beach.
Yeah,
it
it's
was
a full
grind.
camp.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a camp, and
Yeah.
then we would do private lessons after.
Was there a lot of like junior lifeguard programs?
There was, yeah. I remember I did the junior lifeguards for like a year when I was 12, maybe. My cousin ran the program, and it was just a ride for me to get to the beach from my house. She lived in the same neighborhood.
Drop you off, hang out all day.
Exactly. So I did that, and we definitely have a big junior lifeguards program. Maybe not as big as here, but it's definitely it's over there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, but the surf lesson stuff at home is just wild, especially now. It's like it's gotten surfing so
huge
popular.
business.
It's like
Were you getting like tipped out, like
Yeah,
'cause
and in the beginning, like Sam just like this is before Sam and his wife got married, and it was just kind of Sam running it on his own, and he just needed someone to help. Like he just desperately needed someone like a body there. So he wouldn't even take cuts out of my private. So I would do the camp, and then I would do lessons, and I would take 100% of the profit. They would pay cash. So like I was like making $400 to $1,000 sometimes an afternoon, a day.
A day?
Yeah. And that was like on a weekend or something. But
Yeah.
like what I'm saying, like there's days where like I made like between the day getting paid and then tips like $1,000.
Dang.
Which was like probably not the best thing for me to be walking around $1,000 at that age.
Yeah.
No, but it just goes to show
Hard
like,
tag.
yeah.
the experience that going back to when you're a Grom and that first wave, you're just standing up and treading, like you're giving that to like a ton of people every day.
I always highly enjoy doing lessons. You get burnt out on it,
For sure.
especially when you're like the one that's like holding the glue together at the camp, like you're running it. You're
It's a lot of work, stressful.
At least the first half of the summer, and even in the back half, though, it's a very joyful experience.
Yeah.
How many people work with you?
I mean, in the beginning, it was a smaller operation, but at the end, when I was running the camps, anywhere, I don't know, so it's like 2-3 kids max to each instructor, and we'd run like anywhere between like 25 and 35 kids in the winter
Jeez.
ones for 3 hours.
And then at first it was just you and Sam?
Well, it was like me, Sam, and like a few other people, like maybe 2 or 3 other people, like, that he knew. And it was always like, in the beginning, it was a lot of like, it was easier to get like older guys that like kind of like were stronger in the water, but like after a while, it's like you get burnt out doing it, and you start
In the
hiring
sun,
younger
it's
kids.
tired.
Yeah, so
So
it's a hard business. He does a great job of doing it. Getting
you got patience and
Yeah.
you gotta love the sun.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I tried doing it and doing repping. We partnered on some schools and some private beach clubs, and the private beach clubs are a little trickier to kind of get how we would work in those, and wasn't extremely profitable, and it was a lot of energy, so I had to step away from it. But it takes a lot out of you. It's a full-time job for sure.
Yeah. But that short 3 months or whatever,
You can make your whole nut.
you make
Like if you own a camp, like those guys
travel, lay low, have a second job.
Yeah.
And that's
trade.
another like unique thing with East Coast is, some of those shops, they're, in your business surf schools, it's only summertime.
Yeah.
And then they close down for the winter.
Yeah.
And then back up in,
like those
May.
shops in like New England, like a lot of those shops just closed down.
Yeah.
A good amount of them.
it's so trippy, right? Like,
It's crazy.
because coming from California, it's a year-round business.
Yeah.
But you guys, some of your guys' businesses do more than,
In that short span.
right? Like,
It's crazy.
like we could
Yeah, there's a ton of
kill
shops.
it, and then we were like, oh shit, we did that in 12 months.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we did that in
Yeah.
3 or 4
Yeah,
months.
exactly. Yeah. It's pretty insane. And like, you have your slow summers, and then you have your crazy summers. Right?
Yeah.
Like we talk to accounts at the end of the summer, like holy shit, I'm like that was nuts.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it's definitely unique. It's
So that's where you worked. Those are first jobs.
first jobs, and then
Were you ever thinking about being a pro surfer, or did you become a pro surfer?
so like I started getting some money from Brixton.
Brixton.
Yeah, so that's when I like started getting like paid, and it was like wasn't a lot, but I did that lossing for a minute, and those guys were like, they were doing what they could do, but
Yeah.
just got to a point where it was like I picked up a job. I was delivering and installing high-end furniture in New York City. My buddy ran a CNC machine for this guy where we live, and all this furniture was being built in Asbury, and then I would go install it or deliver it in New York City in a box truck. So that was like my job, But my boss is cool. Like if there's ways I would, bail. If I was like, okay, I'm gonna go on a trip. He was cool, but I ended up getting a shot there after Brixton. They're like, hey, we'll give you, see what you can do in a year. Because I was like, saying, hey, I get shots in mags and this and that. And they're like, we don't really know much about you, but like, we'll give you some free clothes and some stickers, and like give you a couple bucks to go to Hawaii for the winter or whatever. Like pay for a ticket and come back next year and see what we can do. So like year went by, and then they're like, yeah, we give you some salary and some photo incentives and things like
Who
that.
were you dealing with?
Dave Stoddard and Adam Warren. Yeah, those
I
dudes
know
are
both of those guys.
rad.
Yeah.
Those dudes are awesome. That was the
Adam. I worked with Adam at Analog and Gravis
hell yeah.
before he started
Dude,
Brixton.
those dudes are the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I still talk to Dave all the time. Dave's the man.
That's
So
good.
Is he the one that's always been involved?
Dave started Brixton. I don't think he's not involved anymore.
Okay.
I think his brother was involved for a little bit after they sold it, but I'm not sure if he is. But
I think he is
okay,
back in
he's
it.
back in there.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think Adam moved to Portugal.
Yeah.
Good
Something
for
He's
him.
doing something like a liquor,
Yeah.
like a beer brand, or a
He's
liquor
doing a
brand?
bunch of different things.
I know his wife's from like Connecticut, because he would always be on the East Coast. Like, oh, is there gonna be waves? Like, I might come try to surf. And yeah, but those guys are awesome.
He's good. You ever meet Adam Warren?
I did. I have. I don't.
Yeah, he's good.
I don't really know.
So Adam was like my TM. And he was
Okay.
like, I'll give you like this much money a month or whatever it was. I was like, holy shit, I need it. Like
Yeah.
I'm getting paid, but I still kept my
Brixton
friends.
was fucking sick.
It was, for me, it was just one of those things where it was like, not to like, toot my own horn or whatever. I'm like, I'm not just gonna fucking ride for anyone for a free box of clothes. Like I fucking work like
Yeah.
20 something,
It's hard.
like 21 years old, like whatever. But I was like, if I ride for someone or at least put a sticker on the board, I want to be stoked. So like, I was just happy to have a sticker on my board and get free clothes from a company like that.
Yeah.
I was like psyched. And then when they started, throwing me a couple of bucks, it was like, felt like I like finally made it in a way.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It
riding
is a
for
validation for sure.
yeah, and I was riding for someone that I actually enjoyed driving.
But it makes you motivated at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, I gotta blow up.
Yeah, and that's when I started feeling like I was like really starting to push myself with like just trying to like I don't know perform when the waves are good or like be around the best guys like calling Sam constantly or like trying to jump in Sam's car if he was going up north on a trip or whatever it was. It was like
Were you and Sam like working with photographers?
I just kind of rode Sam's coattails, and he was always working with people like Brian Nevins and Joe Carter, who filmed like a bunch of really rad movies. Get in the Van. I don't know if you're familiar with Get in the Van, but that's like a cult classic.
Yeah,
East
I've
Coast
heard
cult
of that.
classic. But yeah, he always, whether it was him or Nelly from Long Island or Stafford, him and Gleason. That was like when I was like in my early 20s, and those guys were still, making it happen.
Yeah.
Going up, chasing smalls, and I got to jump in the car for, a couple good years.
It's good.
Being drama abused, but I was 20.
So you talked about going to Hawaii at an early age. When did
I
you
went
go?
when I was like,
15.
I went probably when I was 13, and then I started going like every winter when I was like 15.
Where would you stay and like what would you?
My dad became friends with Brian Beelman somehow. So
Okay.
the first time I ever went, and then a couple years, when I went back a couple years later, I stayed at Beelman's house for probably like the first 4 or 5 trips I went. In his studio, in his basement.
That's a
photo
great
studio.
connection.
Yeah.
So I was hanging out with Beelman. And,
You gonna get the shot?
Yeah. And then,
Where was his house?
so his house is right across from Beelman.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's sick. And he had like
On the other side of Cam
on
Highway?
the other side of Camp Highway, yeah, like right before the bridge. the last street before the little bridge, and then you go to Beeline, and then I was staying with mostly Mason Barnes, you know, Charger kid from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Just being from the East Coast, yeah. Staying with Mason, and Twiggy lived upstairs from Mason.
Oh, bro, you better get your toe straps in and your 9.6, 10.2, whatever.
Yeah.
Those guys
Those
are gnarly.
There was one winter I went out there, and it was like one of those winters that was just massive the whole time, like scary big, you know, and like super windy. But like there was a few days where it was like, you know, you're either gonna go surf big scary waves wherever we were going, or you weren't gonna surf. And not to say I was like charging the hardest out there, but I was definitely extremely uncomfortable, and I'm like very happy I had that experience.
And survive.
But I just remember like being absolutely terrified.
And those guys are the complete opposite. They're giddy and freaking beyond sight.
It's
a different breed.
It was cool to see because it was like Mason's younger than me, and it was like right when Mason started kind of dabbling in that, and like we were kind of on that same level, you know. And then he just kept going.
Flipped the switch and it was like
he never stopped. You know,
Yeah.
I had that one winter and I was like cool with that. You know, like I remember going back the next couple winters and never got like massive. It was like surfing pipe and spots like that, but it wasn't like surfing phantoms or surfing hammerheads or whatever. It was like surfing like the normal, you know, spots. But that big wave stuff was wild. So it was cool to get a taste of that. But I stayed with Mason a lot of those years.
Nice.
His family's got a house right on Alligators right there.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And it was just like all of our friends from all over would just hang out. And
God, those guys surf like.
yeah, now Mason's just psycho.
Well, yeah. There's big waves and then there's just like it looks like cartoons, and those guys are look like cartoon characters on the craziest big waves.
It's insane.
It's crazy how he had a moment there for a while, Mason.
Mm-hmm.
Like came out of nowhere and like kind of stayed in the limelight.
Caught that
And
massive wave at Nauser, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even before that, because
Oh, yeah.
he's, you know,
Yeah, like every swell seemed like up at Half Moon Bay, like Mavericks, he was there. It seemed like he was at every spot.
but he got a lot of notoriety hanging with Koa.
Yes.
When Koa was doing during COVID.
Yeah.
And then it seemed like he like kind of took that opportunity, and then he blew up at Nazarene after that.
Yeah.
But
100-foot wave, whatever.
yeah,
But it's cool to see how he went that path and like how hard he's always been a hard worker. You know, I remember even like before he was doing the big wave thing, like that dude is just like, you know, he's always been a hard worker, whatever he was gonna do. So it's just really cool to see his hard work pay off. And
Yeah.
how gnarly it is.
we'd love to get him on, and I want to fucking get Reggie on.
That'd be sick.
Reggie Barnes. You know Reggie Barnes?
Yeah.
Jeez.
That would be a sick one.
Talk about business fucking gangster.
Yeah, that dude is. Dude, he's the OG.
He's a G,
Yeah,
dude.
He's
He's not just an OG.
He's the
a
G.
G.
He's the G. Yeah, I've never met Reggie in person, but you know, you just hear stories and you see what he's been able to accomplish.
Yeah.
It's just like
He-
he's a legend.
Not many people.
What is it?
do.
Eastern State Supply,
He's
right?
just
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to always see him at Surf Expos.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think I ever met Mason. I don't think I ever met him at the Surf
And
Expos.
Surf, I don't really remember. I think I remember him being there like randomly, like one Surf Expo. But yeah, never really like saw Mason down there besides that one time. But I haven't seen Mason in a while. But he's an awesome human.
Is he still charging sponsors?
Yeah.
I know we had him on the team for a while.
He was on Ruger for a little bit,
Yeah.
right? I think he had an injury, and then I saw him post a clip. He was, I think, at Mullenmore. He was like first way back. It was like some like crazy like ledged out, you know.
Of course it was.
More?
Yeah.
Is that
In
Ireland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That left us gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like Scooten loves that way. Will Scooten, like that dude's incredible. Big wave surfer, and
He's a Jersey guy too.
he's
right?
a New York guy.
New York.
Yeah, but that wave just looks terrifying.
Yeah,
So
we went to Ireland with the Malloy brothers, and that was the whole point of getting that wave.
Yeah.
Dumped it. And I'm like, I hope it's not fucking
Yeah.
because I know those guys are gone, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, and then we didn't get scored, and they went back, I think, the next year and got it, but like,
I don't want to jump far ahead to American Dream, but so Brixton,
Yeah.
did you start going on trips for them, with them?
Those dudes are pretty much just like it was kind of when like print was still around. Like I remember I got like right when I got like an actual contract from those guys. Like I got like a bunch of like I think I got an ESM cover, and then I got like a bunch of shots in ESM, and like that was when like they were like giving us photo incentives for like surfline shots when surfline small stories were still like super relevant.
Yeah.
And they weren't pumping out content like every 2 hours, you know. So it was like they were kind of just like, hey, do your thing, make sure you got stickers on your board and they're visible, and we'll keep, you know, we'll be happy. And they just saw I think they just saw how like I don't know. It just made sense for them to have a team rider in that area. They were doing good business there. They, you know, they thought it made sense. And I think they just, you know,
Well, that's it.
they like that, you know, that East Coast.
Every brand's marketing strategy is having regional heroes.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that's like the whole thing with like Sam, and like that's why I wanted to go that direction. My whole, you know, whatever wanted to be a pro surfer is because like Sam and Frankie and Gleason, like those guys didn't do any contest. They just got on trips and got the sickest photos and put on a 5mm and made surfing in a 5mm look badass and score waves with just that. And I was like, that's what I want to do. And it just seems so much more obtainable than like being like, I'm gonna go on freaking juniors and try to grind it out. Like I just never had that in me. And I just remember coming out here for like even like a VQS or something and getting like blown out of the water by like someone I probably could have like, you know, out surf, but like whatever, having a bad heat or the waves sucked, and it was like
there's a different breed of.
I just didn't have it in me.
Yeah.
But it's cool that, you know, back then, I don't think it's happening now. You could make money just being the local hero.
It was,
regional local hero.
I think I was like the last of that era of like being able to do that. It was like right before like, you know, print really died, and I don't know, I feel fortunate that I was able to at least like get the coattails of it. But
it's totally different times now.
Totally different times now.
Because that was before the vlogging thing.
Yeah.
And it was really before Instagram.
It was like when like Dion like had like Dion TV or whatever, like that was like the first like vlog or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like it was before like that whole, you know, you're your own sponsor kind of like movement where it's like now these guys are like, you don't really need sponsors if you have a big vlog following. Like like look at Ben, like great, like dude like
blew up. Yeah.
He's like his own sponsor.
He is.
Yeah.
He's his own brand.
Exactly.
And that's what, you know.
And that's kind of what you want to do, like, or you have to do if you want to make money.
Yeah.
In a regional, you know, like.
Did you go on trips for Brixton?
No real like actual Brixton trips, no. Yeah, like I said, they kind of was just like, hey, like,
go do it.
You guys have your cool little thing going on over here, and you're always getting stuff like, you know, out there and getting published. It's like just let you do your own thing. And it would have been nice to maybe try to get on a trip or two, but I think as far as like their marketing and the way they portrayed their brand, they had their very like specific like how they wanted it to come off, and it was they have their guys over here that went on their trips, and but it was
I mean usually it's like product, you know, photo shoots for the catalogs, and you know, I don't know if they're doing hardcore surf trips like
they were, and it was like very like Southern California, like Oceanside driven, like the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
It was just like that was their image, but they understood how important it was and how good their business was doing over there. So I was like, yeah, we need a guy over there too. So that was cool.
So what other trips, memorable trips? So you would like Quick Strike or go down to, you said Panama, Costa Rica.
Those were like when I was younger, and then I did a bunch of like, not a bunch, I went to Indo a couple times. I did the last like.
You want to tell us about that crazy one?
This one was pretty sick. I went
We
to Bali
heard
a few
this,
times. I went to Bali a few times prior, but last time I went to Indo, we had a contest at home. It was called Cold War. It was like a team event, and my team ended up winning. And it was like kind of right before, it was like at the end of spring or end of winter into spring, and I remember I got like I think it was like $1,000, like $1,200, and I was like, I didn't have any responsibility.
I'm going into.
He like just broke up with like a girl I was dating. I was like, fuck this, I'm getting out of here. And I went to Indo solo. And I remember I told Matt Biolas, I was like, hey, I'm going to Bali. Like, do you have like any connects over there? Maybe like I saw like the White Monkey shop on Instagram or something. Forget exactly what happened. He was like, oh yeah, like hit Pete up when you get there. He'll take care of you. So fly to Bali. I don't know where I'm staying. Just flew there, landed. Told the cab driver to take me to Canggu, went to Canggu, because I knew the waves were pretty shit when I got there. Absolutely blew it out for 2 nights, and I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of Chengdu. And
Gets a little weird there, huh?
yeah, so
blow it out maybe part of it.
oh
Yeah.
full
Easy.
blow up. Yeah, full blown up. And
It's
then
like people, I mean, there's not that many surfers there. It's mostly just people like
raging.
Yeah.
So it blew off some steam over there, and then I ended up going to the Phuket, and I remember like I didn't really know what that meant by like Pete's, you know, he's gonna hook you up, he's got you from White Monkey. So I get there, I get this like shitty little, you know, spot, drop my stuff off, and then I go to White Monkey, and I'm like, hey, I don't know what this guy looks like. I'm like, is Pete here? He's like, I'm Pete. I'm like, oh, I'm Tommy. I'm like Matt's friend. He's like, fuck, all right, where's your shit? I'll take you to the house. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, like Matt said you're his guy. Like, I got you. You're staying with me. So, long story short,
He hooked you up.
He hooked me up. I ended up staying with this guy. And
I'm never leaving.
yeah, he didn't want me to leave. He wanted me to like
White
stay.
Monkey's like a gnarly shop,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He's like, he's like mafia over there. He runs the show over there. But this is a pretty funny one. Wardo showed up. I didn't tell you this one. Wardo showed up. They lost his board or something, and it was like me and Biolis and Pete standing on the cliff at Surf Villas, and like Wardo like comes like stumbling, like they didn't even know how he got into the village. They're like, oh fuck, like here's Wardo. You know, so they're like, what's up, Chris? He's like, I don't know, they lost my boards. I don't know where my boards are. You got a board I can ride? And he's like looking at my board. And he's like, whose is this? I'm like, that's my board. And the thing's like pretty chippy for him.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can ride it if you want. It's like 20 minutes before dark. The waves are pumping at Temples. And he's like, fuck, all right, sick. He like grabs my board, runs down the stairs. This thing is like a chip for Wardo.
Yeah.
Dude probably had like 5 or 6 beers. And he went out and fucking first wave belted this fucking thing. Like, I couldn't believe the surfing I was seeing.
You're like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. And he goes out and does that. You're like, what? The
And
fuck?
I
Does it surprise you though?
I like
No.
looked over at him. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
I knew.
And that because it was never the surfing that was his problem.
Yeah.
I was literally like, and I was just like, fuck, that was so gnarly. So he came in, but he was staying there for for a while, and a couple of days went by, and Pete's like, oh, Chris is going to desert, you should go with him. He's gonna be pumping over there. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know, like, they're like, all right, yeah. He said meet him at the shop in the morning. You know, you guys head over there. And I roll up to the surf shop. We got like 3 boards on the bike and
On a
backpack
motorcycle.
on a motorcycle. And I'm like expecting to get in Chris's car or whatever. And I roll up in his
Because
car.
you know, deserts is like far.
It's like, I don't know how, it seemed like it was like a 5-hour ride, and we stopped a bunch of times on the way to the ferry, but it's a 5-hour ride just to get to the ferry to get to desert from where we were. And he's like, dude, he rolls up and you can't even see out of the windows in his car. There's so much shit in his car. And he's got his chick and his kid. And I'm like, where's checking my stuff? He's like, oh, like, you're not coming in the car, like, you're gonna follow us. And I was like, what? Like, and I didn't really say anything. I was just like, okay, like, I was almost like, no, I'm not gonna go in my head. I'm like, this is a
Can I at least put my boards and shit?
Exactly, and but it was so filled that like you couldn't fit a fucking
And the
another.
motorcycle you're renting.
I'm renting this bike, like it's like scooter or whatever, like
Yeah,
you know,
moped, like
moped.
a glorified.
So it's not a motorcycle, really.
No, it's
It's a
like
scooter.
it's like a hybrid, it's a scooter, you
Yeah.
know, and
But they jam,
they jam, yeah,
but they're not.
But it's a scooter.
but it's a scooter, yeah.
Yeah,
You're not
pothole.
like on like a sick Honda, like
Yeah, pothole.
250,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like yeah,
And
So-
you're gonna follow a car
a car
for 5 fucking hours.
just to get to the ferry. Or
For
whatever
5
it was.
fucking hours.
Between traffic and all that shit, 5 hours, and then like what is it, like a 3-hour ferry ride or whatever it was, and then another 3-hour ride through the jungle on a fucking scooter with 3 boards and a fucking backpack, and dude, it was.
And you had no idea. You thought you were gonna jump in the car.
I thought I was gonna jump in the car. We fucking.
But you're not pulling out. You're like, dude, I gotta go to fucking deserts.
That's what it was. It was like that split decision, like that split second in my head. I was like, I have to make a decision, and I was like, this could be the best trip of my life. Like I have to go. But I was like
And an
scared.
epic
I was like,
story.
an epic story, which.
At
is-
the hindsight,
yeah.
at the time, you're just like, can I even make it?
Exactly.
Am I gonna even survive?
And like I just kept hearing things like, oh, like don't take the ferry and drive at night kind of thing.
Yeah.
Especially if you're on a bike, and like the ferry was gonna get in at like 1 a.m, and like everything just that people were telling me don't do if you go there.
It was lining up to
It
do
was
it.
lining it up, and I'm like, oh my god, like what am I getting myself into? So I ended up pulling the trigger and going, and yeah, it was hectic.
And it wasn't a sober drive.
Dude, we stopped. First of all, there's traffic, so we were stopping just to like piss or whatever. But like, dude, we probably stopped like 5 or 6 times, and like we're pounding the big tall boy bintangs on the side of the road, and like, it's hot.
Piss break, big tank break,
hot as
gas
fuck
break.
out, sweating, just only drinking bintangs the whole way. Get to the ferry, hot as balls on the ferry, packed ferry, and I remember like sitting outside on the.
Did you document this at all when you?
No, I didn't. I should
No
have.
phone? Did you have a phone?
I had a phone, but it had like a cracked screen at the time. Like I could like make calls on it, but I couldn't really see out of it, kind of thing. And it ended up breaking when I went to desert. I was sleeping in some like shitty little like hut, and like the moisture just killed the thing. And I didn't have a phone on the way back, but I remember like sitting on the ferry on that second level, like outside, and like Chris rolled up with like a bunch of bintangs, and like I don't know, we were pretty soft stuff. But I remember we just like were pounding beers, and I passed out. Like I think he's like, I'm gonna go to the car or whatever, and like I just fell asleep on the side of the ferry, outside on the ferry for like an hour and a half. Woke up, was like immediately hungover as shit because it's like hot as fuck out. I hadn't drank any water.
And you've been guzzling exhaust fumes for the last like
Exactly.
8 hours.
Yeah, and drinking nothing but beers. And
That just alone, the exhaust.
dude, I remember we got there and I was like, my head was just like pounding. And they let all the bikes off first, and Chris was in his car, and first thing that happens is 2 guys approach me and they're like, hey, where you going? Who you with? Like, where are you staying? And I'm like trying not to talk to them, but they're like getting real close. And like, what's up? Where are you staying? And I'm like, waiting for my friend. Like, where's your friend? I'm like, he's in his car. Like, oh yeah? Who's your friend? I'm like, Chris Ward. And they like looked at each other like, Wardo? I'm like, yeah, like, oh, okay. Like, I had no idea how these dudes knew Wardo.
Yeah.
But these dudes.
Were they Indo dudes?
They were Indo dudes.
But
they fully just left.
But
me
they were
alone.
looking to.
They were looking to fuck with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, something. And like I've never been over there, and it's a totally different world than Bali. The whole.
You could easily take advantage of solo.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So I freaking waited for him, and I was white knuckling it, and
Through the jungle.
through the jungle, foot from his rear bumper the entire time. And I never been over there, so it's like it was, the roads were all new. Yeah, and it was hectic, man.
You score?
Scored good waves. We scored.
You're so stoked that you're kind of doing a quick strike, but it's still like, are the tides gonna be right? There's so many variables.
Yeah, it was like, I remember the first day was kind of shit, and then it pumped for 2 days, but it's such a tidal spot, and only, it's only good at low tide, and you have to wait all day, and then you'd surf in the afternoon, till sunset, and it pumped, but it wasn't as big as I thought it was gonna be, and it was kind of crowded, and
Everywhere's crowded.
yeah, everywhere was crowded, and I got good waves, and
What year was this?
it was like 2018, yeah, 2018, I think. Yeah.
And you left Jersey riding for Brixton and working for.
Worked for the furniture guy, but then I was going into summer to work for Sam. So it was kind of like I would always exit the furniture game like in the spring. I'd give like the dude Andy like, hey, like the heads up, like, hey, start surf school, and I usually try to like take a little bit of time off before that. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to Indo. I gave him like 2 weeks or whatever, and yeah, I just bailed there until summer started. So yeah, I mean, in hindsight, it was a great experience. But yeah, that trip was, that part of the trip was definitely hectic.
So gnarly because when you're in, Uluwatu,
It's safe, dude. It's like America.
it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
The food is, you're living with the guy.
Yeah, it was easy.
You could have been comfortable
Yeah.
surfing not as good waves, but pretty fucking
Pretty
close.
damn good waves.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an experience. Yeah, we got good waves for like 2 days, and I remember another swell was coming, and I bailed. It was like a 3-day like in betweener. Where we're just like hanging around, and like I was like, my living quarters were pretty shit. I was pretty fried after that whole experience. And, I bailed these 2 Aussie dudes who I started hanging out with when I was there for those couple days. And one guy got smoked, and he ended up leaving. He had to go back to Bali. He was gonna get like He wasn't gonna be able to surf. He had to get
He
stiff.
left a lot of skin on the reef there.
Big, gnarly ginger dude. I forget his name, but apparently the dude was fucking. He was a pretty wild dude. I showed you a photo of him.
Yeah.
But I followed those guys back during the day to the ferry. But then I got off the ferry in Bali. And I had no fucking idea how to get back. I didn't have a phone because my phone shit the bed when I was over there. So I like had to like in like that drunken haze of like getting to the ferry, I have to kind of like remember the roads or just landmarks, how to get back to the Phuket, which is like
Dimpensar.
Yeah.
That's
All
all the
like,
word I
like,
can say.
highways that we definitely weren't on, you know, like trying to get back. And I just remember getting back there and being like, I'm not fucking leaving this place for the rest of the trip.
Yeah.
I'm just posted up. But that was a cool experience nonetheless.
Because 5 hours from Bali to the
It
ferry.
was a full day thing. Yeah. We left in the morning, we got there like,
How long is the ferry ride?
I think it's like 2.5, 3 hours. And I remember it was going really slow because like there was like some pretty rough seas like going over there. The boat was moving slow. I remember someone saying like this is like like the slowest ride ever.
The boats
And
are
then
so
a 3 hour ride from there.
Yeah. So hard.
I didn't do
But
that.
you would have changed it.
No, I definitely, it's just
Yeah.
one of those things you look back on. You're like, and like again, like looking back on it, too, like I like barely would like tell my parents like I wouldn't contact them for like weeks. No one fucking knew where I was going.
Yeah.
Like no one. Like Pete knew where I was going. My parents don't know who the fuck Pete is. I don't know who I'm staying with. Like
They had no idea.
I
Like,
could have been dead over
Yeah.
there. And no one would have known. You know,
so wild.
like
5 hours on a scooter.
on a scooter, dude. Like those pop, dude. Your wrists and your fucking hands. Yeah.
That's some
It's
serious
pretty serious.
fucking distance.
I love the scooter though. Like it was that was like half the adventure. Like I love anything with 2 wheels. If it's got a motor, even better. But
And that's the only way you can really get around with the traffic. It's like
Yeah.
the cars are so gnarly.
yeah,
It's a freaking busy spot.
yeah.
It's so busy, dude.
So we've been to Indo a couple times. Any other bucket list like spots? You doing Towie's?
No, I haven't been over there. I'd like to do something like that. I've been to Mex, like Bara once. Been to like France a few times, but that was kind of like in the tail end of their season.
Yeah.
Had some like clients from the surf school like bring me
So
over
killer
there.
over there.
Yeah, but it was actually insane to go over there, like going into their summer and just like hang out. Like I love it over there. I want to go back over there first of all and do Portugal.
So customers from
Surf school, yeah, like, and they're family friends now, but like, I like kind of taught their whole family how to surf, and they would bring me over, and I'd stay in Hostiger for a couple of weeks, and they would.
We're
bring
going
me
to a
back.
chateau. You
Yeah,
want to come hang out?
pretty much. Yeah, like, they're pretty well.
Like, come.
Yeah.
We got an extra room.
Yeah. So
Good people in
it
there.
was cool. I've been
Good-
there.
good perks.
I'm a really good surf coach. And know if you need some backup.
Yeah.
That's
So yeah, but I definitely there's a couple spots I want to go to. I definitely want to check out Ireland and Portugal. And, I'm more like interested in doing some like cold, just
Cold what?
cold water stuff. It's like I kind of like doing.
Where you're from, nowhere's even
exactly.
colder.
Yeah, I kind of like surfing in the West. To be honest with
You're
you.
gonna go to Portugal and be like, dude, I could trunk it because this is epic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ireland, maybe
Yeah.
not, but you'll be in a
so
short sleeve full.
so you came back
Yeah.
from this hellish, beautiful trip,
Yeah.
and then is this when you got into repping?
No. A couple years probably went by when I was kind of just doing like the furniture thing and surf school thing. And
You did that for a while then.
Yeah, did that for a while. I on and off for a while. Like probably a good like 8 or 9 years.
Shit.
Yeah, and then like there was a point too where it was like I was the only dude driving for him, so like I was getting paid pretty decent.
Yeah.
He was super cool with my, if I was like, hey, I'm going away for a week. All right, cool. Like, whatever, figure it out, kind of
So
thing.
you're bouncing between the two.
Yeah, and like doing the Berkson thing, and then Berkson got sold, and then I rode for Rourke for a little bit. Mikey Rangel was the rep there, and I kind of like through Brett Shalacy, like switched right over to Rourke once Berkson kind of sold. Brett was like kind of trying to get me on that Rourke program, and they were doing well in our territory. And that dude Mikey Rangel, I don't know if you know him. He works for Fox now.
Sounds totally
But
familiar.
he's from this area. But he was like, what are you getting from Brixton? And I told him, he's like, okay, we can do that, whatever. But yeah, probably did that for a couple of years and did, just getting some stuff from Rourke. And then Eddie Doyle was like,
Yeah.
hey, he let me kind of work under the rep for summer and like kind of go in, clean cases, and do count and fill for Otis Eyewear. And I was doing surf school too full time, so it was gnarly. It was like I would do surf school 6 days a week, and then I would do that 2 to 3 days a week. I'd be on the road.
What was your range of
New Jersey, New York?
Fuck, so a lot of driving, a lot of hustling.
Yeah, I was just fucking sunburned and then driving around and like, not really spending too much time with my now wife, but my girlfriend at the time. I was like, but she was like, I think this is gonna be good for you. Like,
Yeah.
because like to be honest with you, man, like I was like very happy with what I was able to accomplish in surfing, and it wasn't much, but like I was proud of myself for like, at least getting to the end goal of being like, I got,
Got to travel, got
travel, got a couple bucks. Like I was, I did what I wanted to do, and it was an amazing time. But I was also very stressed out at the end. I'm like, like I'm not, I'm not like a skilled carpenter. Like I don't want to bang nails. Like I don't want to go work as a pipe fitter in New York City with my dad.
Yeah.
But like if I have to, I will obviously. But like it just reality started kind of setting in. I've always like envisioned being in this industry, but like when you get older, you realize like there's not very many jobs in the industry, and the people don't let go of their fucking jobs.
No. There's no turnover.
So
and there's not a lot of new brands that like make it through to where there's like this new flourishing like rep, kind of movement. Very rare.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate.
Super fortunate. So I just kind of like had that moment of being like, I think, and she kind of pushed me too. She was like, I think this is going to be something good's going to come out of this.
Yeah.
You can only be a core lord for so long.
100%.
Eventually,
being core is not that cool when you can't afford shit.
They always said to us, core is poor.
Core is poor.
Yeah. And, you always need a good woman to kind of, help
push you the right way.
And my wife, like, right out of college, like,
we'd be still
owned her own
roommates.
business. She owned her own business. She was.
What did she do?
She was in the wellness industry, so she was like the first person to bring like the cryotherapy and the infrared saunas and like the lymphatic drainage and the red light therapy. Like,
wow.
She opened up the spot. She worked for someone that did the same sort of stuff in the city right out of college, and then shortly after that, she opened up her own business and like was killing it right away.
Epic.
Good for her.
Rushing it at like 26, and there's me like, hey, surf lessons, like fucking deliver couches.
Yeah.
And I drive a rape van with padlocks on it,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
my
yeah.
dad's old work van, like so gnarly. Like she's from the sickest, nicest town. I'm like rolling up, like look at a fucking pool guy, like.
A rape
Yeah,
with padlocks.
Dude, it was a white Econoline with no windows and 2 padlocks. Cause it was like an old utility van, so it just looked. It was a full rape van, like. Cage it was like a cage in the back.
I don't want my board stolen. I'm like, I triple lock.
Yeah, so.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I did that, and then at the end of that summer, he was like, "Hey, we want you to be the rep. You clearly have a great, connections in the industry, and people really like you, and you got the personality for it." So it was just very relieving, to be like.
So
okay.
the surf school, because you didn't have a network with shops. Did you know the shops?
I didn't have a network for shops necessarily, but like how it is at home. It's like just being around the Braves and just doing contests in South Jersey, like knowing Brian, Kevmo, and like the guys at 7th Street, just through surfing. I had, and then that summer going into the shops and meeting people, like, oh yeah, like whatever, like you build that relationship. So like I had a good idea of how like shops work.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the repping thing was always like I kind of got it, but like I learned a lot that summer, and
It's not rocket science,
well,
but
it's not.
it's really about following through
Exactly.
and being persistent and just working hard.
Yeah.
And that's what you got from running surf camps.
Exactly.
Learning how to deal with people. Like dealing with people is really a strong
Talking all day and dealing with
skill.
people is not easy.
Sitting in traffic and driving and then dealing with people, like, I get home sometimes and I'm, like, what did I do today?
Yeah.
I'm like worn out, and it's like, I was white knuckling it for the last like 4 hours.
Yeah, it's exhausting in itself just driving.
But when you get in shop, those moments that you're in shop and talking to the kids on the floor, the buyer, the owner, or whatever, you're like, this is what makes it worth it, like driving here.
And like I always just put myself back in like you know, whenever I'm feeling frustrated or whatever, it's just like I look back at, you know, where I was 10 years ago or, you know, 20 years ago, and it's just like to be doing what I'm doing now and like sitting here with you guys and talking about like my life story, like who am I? I'm just some kid from Jersey, you know, like whatever. It's like,
well, it's inspiring because it gives, you know, hope in any kid listening to it, or people that are having that decision of how to go down.
I'm lucky. I'm very fortunate. I'm very lucky, and then like I like to just think that like you have to take opportunities when opportunities come. You know, like in front of you, like you can't be scared.
And it's hard to pass up. Like I just want to be a fucking bum surfer because that's all we want to do.
Well, yeah.
I have that challenge with my kids every day. Like I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to. I just want to go surf all day. I'm like, what do you think I want to do, dude? You think I want to work all day every day to pay for all your shit? I want to be a surf bum.
100%.
You know, like they still don't get it. I'm like, I'm still a 50-year-old grom. Like I
like
want
you
to
don't
be
change.
able to.
Like I'm 33. I feel like I'm just a grom now, just as I ever was. You know, it's like
we froth.
froth, dude. Like
So-
you would be like, dude, you're frothing Joe. We can't just surf all day. When I first came over that.
One thing that I wanted to talk about too is like core lord, right? You're a core lord and you're a ripping surfer. You've made a name for yourself in your region as a core surfer. People know who you are. And then you get an opportunity, and then your hard work kind of shows, but then because you are a ripping surfer, that makes it even cooler. You know what I mean?
I think that it definitely helps.
And guys like Kevmo, right?
It helps in situations like that. For sure.
Like those guys don't want some dude that doesn't know how to surf or go rip coming through. Not that they wouldn't treat him any different. Like they just wouldn't be like.
Not every guy's gonna be ripping like.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they wouldn't treat it. And there's a lot of good sales reps out there that aren't great surfers. But when those guys on that side, a business owner or buyer, and somebody that comes through that does have that same quality of like work ethic and knows the business, but also it could be like, dude, come up this day and they're networking.
Come down in the morning
and
let's
go surf.
Yeah.
That goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure. And I was actually just talking to Kevin about that on the phone about like just reps in general. And again, it's like you can't expect everyone to be some core lord or like surf turkey, like get up at that ass crack of dawn to go surf for 45 minutes and then get on the road. But like he's like it's refreshing to know that like
there's still dudes
like that where it's like you can come down here, we can get a surf in, and then talk business, and then like talk about doing an event or whatever it may be. But like just to have that that aspect of being a rep and still being able to like connect with those accounts, like those core surf accounts at that level.
Working business with or mixing business with pleasure.
Yeah. It's been amazing, honestly. I'm like super blessed that this opportunity.
And if you just said, "Hey, my kid's sick. I can't make it today." They're all like, "No worries." Or, "Hey, something came up. The waves are killer. I'll come in another couple days." Okay, cool. No worries. Like communication, and they know, hey, their family.
Exactly. Yeah, and exactly. Like, that's a whole new aspect of life that I'm am still navigating and trying to figure out. It's like the work, and then still having like being a father now is like the best thing that's ever happened. So it's like
wife, kid, so it's kind of not coming in number 3.
It's like maybe number 4, dude. It's like you take a back seat from that, and there is more out there than surfing, but it's also like I look at it like
this guy's maturing just as we speak. An hour and a half into this, he's maturing.
No, but I just I want to be able to enjoy that time with my family when I'm not on the road working. Or that's another beautiful part about the job is being able to work from home all the time and spending time with my kid. And it's such a special age. So it's like, and then you have to think down the road too. It's like you guys like get to go surf for your kids when they get older and show them that love and go circle back to that.
And yell at them when they don't get out of the
You told you they're not
what's your kid's name? Koa.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Koa?
Yeah.
Paddle harder.
Apple didn't fall far from the tree. Yeah. So we're gonna get you a coach, and you're gonna be training, and we're gonna be. Youngest wave key.
When I was working for Outer Known, we got to do the surf ranch with a bunch of accounts, and that was fucking amazing. And then during COVID, American Dream popped up,
Yeah.
right? And then you started doing appointments or days at.
Yeah, I was a couple.
American Dream.
Yeah.
I was like,
You would book the day?
I did they did like a session day with me, and then like I was helping Will run the pool for a little bit, like on the controllers, and then like Action Bronson came through and did the Bronson with Barrels event, and I like emceed it, and that was pretty sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that was that was a cool experience too. That was just like a little side hustle I did because they run on off hours from the actual pool, so like it's either super early at night or late at night. So I would like roll up there and work from like 7 to midnight. And then, it's only like an hour from my house, but yeah, that was like a cool experience too. And like
That's perk.
that's what I'm saying. Just like trying to like
Network and find
network.
different.
Like even like this, man, I was like, this is like a great opportunity just to like hang out with my friends and maybe like network somehow or whatever. It's just like you just have to say yes to everything. You never know like what's gonna happen. Like
Is that why you said yes to a podcast?
no.
Yeah.
I did it, but I was just like, dude, like
This is about networking. This is about exposing and letting people know who you are.
I just, like in my, you just have to learn how to feel uncomfortable. I think sometimes, like this isn't the most comfortable thing for me to do. I like kind of hate hearing myself talk, but like I talk all day for a living. But like, it's just it's an awesome experience for me, and it's something that is uncomfortable for me in a way, which is cool.
yeah.
Like it's
We just had a friend a couple weeks ago on, and he's an actor, surfer, Corlord.
Yeah.
Still, it's 50, not quite 50, 48 probably. Anyways,
Resvan.
yeah, Tom Resvan, and he got a call back from like a producer or somebody, right? What was it?
Yeah, he texted.
So the episode went live, promoted for a week, and then he might get a gig off.
He goes, somebody that listened to your podcast heard about me getting into acting, and I'm supposed to meet with them now.
No way.
He's gonna help me get.
And we're like, dude, what's our cut? No, I'm just kidding. No, we're just so pumped. We're like, that's
no,
cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
It's cool, man.
We're like stoked.
It's awesome.
So you've been at Hurley for 5 years?
Almost 5 years, yeah.
And Keen got you the job.
Keenan got me a job. Yeah. So the other rep was like.
So you were doing Otis first.
Doing Otis. I was working for Leisure Collective as an employee, so I was doing Creatures Otis and whatever they were about to launch. Cedo, and a couple other little stuff. They're doing, but yeah, I think it was just like I had a great run there, but it was kind of like kind of hit the ceiling with what was going to happen. And not that I had any plans of going anywhere, I just got I got this
You got a better opportunity.
Yeah, and
Moving on up.
it was again another uncomfortable opportunity for me because it was like I felt comfortable finally. I was like, I know my territory, I know how this works, I know this, and I was like, finally got comfortable.
Yeah.
And then this happened. And I'm like, well, this is like this big, animal of an operation. I don't know anyone over there.
Glasses to clothing.
They're not in a good spot right now. But it was just like, and that was another thing too, like that I was proud of myself for doing is like. Looking back at Hurley, like I always respected the brand, but it was never like my favorite brand. It was just like one of these big box brands, but they always accomplished like an amazing thing. And they had a massive footprint in our area, but I like kind of looked at it in a light where I was like, well, fuck that. Like I can make this cool. Like now it's my opportunity to go and make something cool, and
You
it's
got a
cool because I
challenge.
said it's cool, and I had a challenge, and
You
like
make money.
yeah. So it was a really good decision.
Nice.
I'm really happy I was able to take it and be able to, grow the brand or get the brand back to the doors and grow it. And it's been a challenge, but if you're not uncomfortable, then
Hey, any brand right now, it's tough.
Yeah. I remember people talking shit like, "Oh, you working for Hurley?" I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
You don't want to see me succeed. You want to see me provide. Again, it comes back to
Some people
like,
are jealous.
don't look at the big.
Well,
Yeah.
they want you to fail.
Yeah.
It's and I'm not like calling on anyone out specifically. I'm just saying like sometimes you get these comments from maybe not like the closest people, but people that you might consider like friends or whatever, and you're like, it's a fucking weird thing to say.
Yeah.
Like,
I-
there's a
I-
bad taste in your mouth. You should be like psyched from here, like positive.
Yeah.
But,
No, I'm kind of going. Ruka, the liberated group that just all the brands and all the reps, everybody that's been affiliated, I've been hearing, secondhand or downstream, like just shit behind the back that's going around. I'm like, oh, I thought that person or people or whatever, really?
Yeah, it was my friend.
Yeah, but business is business, and I understand. Like, there's opportunity, and you try to grab it when they can, and hey, it is what it is, you know? Like,
They'll be back when it starts ringing the register.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm just like, makes me hungry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Makes me want to prove you wrong.
Yeah, it makes me like,
So,
but
you have gone viral a couple times on either Surfline or Stack, right?
Yeah.
What was your first one that like?
fucking a barrel backhand.
They're both backhand barrels.
Sure. But which one?
I don't know. There's two that there's been a few, but there's two that come to mind. They were kind of, I think they were like in the same year. Yeah. One went viral on Surfline, backside barrel. And then another one went viral on Stab. And I remember like it was Pat Schmidt and my buddy Corey. Pat was riding for Vance all the time. He's an amazing surfer. Traveling with him, my whole life, and at the contest out here when we were really, really little. And great surfer, lives in Montauk now. And married Quincy Davis, but Jersey dude. But he was filming some stuff for a Vans video that never ended up actually happening. At the time, he was still riding for Vans, and Corey was filming that day, and he was like, "We're saving the clip for the fucking Vans video because there's gonna be like a friend section or whatever." And I remember just being like, "Fuck you. I don't care about that fucking Vans video. Like, I want that clip."
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? I'm a sales rep. I'm not gonna sit here and make an edit, and I don't really care about being in the Vans video. Really,
I just want that. I just want the clip.
So finally, I think I just was up his ass enough where he just was like, "All right, I'll give you the fucking clip." And I think someone got wind of the clip. I think it was when Ashton was at Stab still, and he DM'd me. He's like, "Where's the clip?" Because I posted a freeze frame. He's like, "I heard about this clip." And anyway, I ended up getting the clip, and it went viral. And
What did you post it, or did you send it to them to post?
I posted it, and it went viral, on my own Instagram.
Did you
viral
tag?
for my whatever.
Did you tag anything specifically?
No, I think I just tagged maybe Corey and Hurley or Lost or whatever.
Yeah, like my boys.
Yeah.
Stoked.
But then Stab picked Corey up for the clip, and they posted it. And,
Repost, and it went crazy.
Yeah. I mean, did nothing absolutely bonkers, but it went viral, I guess. For my
We're gonna post these.
Bonkers.
We're gonna re-viral these two clips, and we're gonna repost and.
That one wave was pretty nuts. I remember that day. It was it was big, but at home sometimes when it's big, you can't tell how big it is or how gnarly it is if there's no one to gauge it. And when the wind goes right offshore, it's still
Super
pretty
offshore.
raw still, and
Is it both the same spot?
No, same stretch. One's in Bay Head and one's in Spring Lake. I got to shoot my album shot. But the one the Stab posted, dude, that was one of two waves I even made to my feet on that day. And shit,
That feels good.
it was gnarly.
How many boards you break?
I didn't break any boards. I was riding this fucking hog, this a retro gun from Lost, one of those kind of beak nose, heavy glass. But Pat and I were looking at it for a while, and we were like, "Fuck, how big is it?" And it was you could tell it's super drifty, and we we're finally, fuck it, we're going out. And when it's that drifty, dude, you can lose someone in 10 seconds of being out there. If they catch a wave or they don't make it out, you're not in the same drift. You're not in the same drift. 9 times out of 10, you're sitting out there by yourself with these two people. We get out there and we're dodging waves, and we got out kind of easy. We definitely got pretty smoked paddling out, but no one got sent back to the beach or whatever. And we get out there, and Pat immediately catches a wave, and now I'm just out there by myself. And it kind of, when it's big and it just goes offshore, sometimes there's lefts against the grain before it really straightens out. But sometimes you don't know how makeable they are. If it's just a mirage. So I get out there and I always try to just get out there and swing on one when it's that. You don't want to drift, because you can drift out of position and you can get in your own head. So dude, I freaking get out there, and I see this thing bubble up in front of me. I'm fucking swing, I'm going left. I get to my feet and I'm just levitating in the lit, and I'm like, holy fuck! And I see, like on the other side of the jetty,
And it's blowing. The wind.
the wind's blowing, and there's no way whatever. I just free fall to the bottom of this thing, land on my feet, explode onto my back, like skip, get blown up by the lit, down on the bottom, and I pop up, and I'm in the jetty. Like
What the fuck?
Yeah, and I'm out there by myself, and there's just like another one right behind me, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking drown. Like
You're up against the jetty.
I'm like in the jetty, like in front of the rocks. I get dragged across the front of it, and yeah, after that, I probably like took off on like 4 or 5 waves, made it to the bottom on one. It was kind of a burger, and then a couple of closeouts, and then that wave came, and Pat was like, where you going? And I remember my arms were so dead because I was there for like 3 hours, scrapping into this thing. I remember barely making it to my feet, and like it was kind of like a roll in, and I got to the bottom, and I like couldn't tell if it was just like a big like burgery one, because like it never really was like super.
What time of day is? How's the lighting?
It was like super overcast, wind blowing.
Perfect Jersey weather.
Perfect Jersey weather. It was like 50, and by the time we got out of the water, it was like 32 degrees, like in the air temp, and the wind's blowing like 30 miles an hour, like pinned offshore. And I get to the bottom of this thing, and I'm like, my like eyes kind of clear up, and I'm like looking up, and this thing's just like going square over my head. I'm like, oh shit! And then yeah,
Don't get lit.
Thought I was gonna get lit. Pulled in, couple of that. That was a good wave.
That was a good
Yeah.
one.
That one felt good.
It's
Those
almost
was
as
always-
memorable as your trim on your first.
Yeah, that one will
That's
stick with me
the-
forever. It's always like those ones on those days where it's like it only takes one wave, and it's like that,
That's it.
and it's like
It's embedded.
yeah, and like you work for it when it's like that, so
Makes it sweet.
yes.
So you got it on video, which is
Yeah.
again like
Two fucking gnarly
Yeah, and then,
viral
yeah,
barrels.
yeah. Then the other one was like a longer kind of like weed and one,
Yeah. Jersey, like
but then there's guys like Sam and even Pat, dude, like those guys like.
dial bombs.
They like for every like sick one I get, they get 10 sick ones.
Yeah.
Like I always am like, motherfucker, I wish I was just regular fed at home.
did
But when
they-
you get a good backside one, it's like,
It's
and
way
everyone
more
freaks
memorable,
out
yeah.
when you get a good backside one. Everyone's like, oh my god, so it's cool. But those guys really pushed me, like Pat
Yeah.
and Sam, those guys.
But the way that those two got blown up so
Yeah.
hard, I don't think anybody else.
No, I don't know. I always get lucky with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't think I've seen any
Even
other
like
videos.
there's a few more like from years prior where like more or less like surf line. I don't know. I guess those guys like me. But,
Yeah.
like, I get a lot of love on my clips through social.
And you got hurt a couple months ago. What?
I broke my ankle a couple months ago.
Surfing.
Surfing. I think I fractured it prior. I slipped on my son's toys. I think I told you. I
Felt something.
felt something. I hit the ground. I think I broke my ankle. And then I got up and I was like, it was like early in the morning. It was like cold in the house. And a day later, I was walking. A couple days later, I surfed.
Fucking toy.
Yeah. When these like magnetic blocks, dude. I had my son's foamy on the hardwood floor, and it was wedged in between the couch and the stair. Took the last step onto the floor, and I didn't see this little like magnetic like transparent block. And I stepped down, I slipped, and then the surfboard, the little foamy, caught my foot, just folded it. And then 2 weeks later, I pretty much did the same thing surfing. But when I went to go do a turn, my ankle gave out. My momentum was already going down the wave. I got to the bottom and I just folded it and snapped. And I was surfing by myself, felt it snap, heard it snap. It was cold out, it was windy, it was raining.
With booties on.
5 mil, 7 mil boots. And I'm like down there on the beach, and like of course I'm surfing like a spot that's like not really close to the road. Out of all the spots to be, I'm like not that close to the road, and you have to like walk through all these like dunes or whatever. And there's no one that's no one's down there. And I'm just like,
Hey, help!
yeah,
help.
like,
Yeah.
on the beach, like looking around to see if. And actually, one kid did going down to check the waves as I started walking up, but I just like had like tunnel vision because I knew I fucked it up, and took a couple deep breaths. I was like, I have to stand up. I have to see what how bad this is. And I stood up. I was able to put pressure on it. So I was like, all right, I gotta get to the car. Got off the beach, got to the car, got my booty off, and it didn't hurt really. I think I was my
Yeah,
adrenaline was just
endorphins
going.
or-
Yeah.
Plus, it's freezing.
It's freezing, but when I was only
Sounds
swimming, it was
good.
like my 4th wave, so I just got out there. and I took my suit off, and the rest of my body was like normal color, and my foot was just like the reddest red, like all whatever was going on down
blood,
there.
yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't even put clothes on. I just jumped in my car with my towel and just started driving home. And by the time I got to my neighborhood, I couldn't use my right foot. I just started driving my left foot, and I got out of the car and it was just like freaking great.
What a bummer.
Jeez.
But no surgery. Going on 3 months.
No surgery?
No surgery. Clean break.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Fucking A.
But it's good. It like slows you down. You know, I had to miss a family trip to Barbados, which I was looking forward to because I love going to Barbados. Sick waves there.
So sick.
So that was a bummer, but you know, you just kind of like don't think about things like, you know, walking, take that shit for granted. And
Yeah.
just kind of put things in perspective a little bit. It slows you down. I got a lot of work done.
Yeah. Dude, I was on it. I was
Yeah.
answering every email. And,
Yeah.
no, I mean, that's life. I mean, it sucks to get hurt, but, you know, having a good attitude and just knowing you're going to look back and be like, oh, that was a blip. It wasn't even like that gnarly of a stretch.
Yeah.
But when you're in it, it sucks. You're like, dude, how long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of things like in my life recently, like I, you know, definitely had like a drinking and drug problem for a long time, and just kind of got out of hand, and like overcoming that, you know, it's just it was such a big hurdle in my life
Yeah.
to overcome, you know, to stop, you know, using drugs and alcohol to like, you know, self-medicate when things would go wrong, where it's like now things go wrong, and it's like you just things like you put
Yeah,
things in
better-
perspective.
Yeah.
you know.
Better grasp.
So try not to like spiral, you know, if something like that happens. It's almost kind of good when things like that happen, because it slows you down.
Yeah.
That and puts things in perspective, and it challenges you to like take the higher road. You know,
Yeah.
it's easy
Plus,
to
you have a
self-medicate.
son that you want to spend the rest of your life with
100%.
in the right mind frame.
Yeah.
And remember everything.
Yeah. You know, there's just like a lot of
And a partner that, you know, wife that's going to hold you accountable.
yeah.
You know, like parents, you know, you're like, I can't wait to get out of my house because it was this berated, you know,
Yeah.
and then you finally grow up and you leave, and you're like, that's when you're free, and nobody's gonna
Yeah.
say no or you can't do that. It's like you're your own man.
And you develop a lot of things like in your youth and into your 20s, where it's like you don't even realize why you're doing things
Yeah.
sometimes, or like what you're doing them for. And I kind of learned a lot about myself later on.
Did you get help, or did you just cold turkey?
I
Or
got help.
you got help? Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. But it was the best decision I ever made. But yeah, definitely a lot has happened in the last year with that. So that's just been, it was one of the hardest things I ever had to do, but it was the most rewarding thing. And
Yeah.
it's like, it was at a point where it was just like enough was enough. I don't think you can force someone to do that unless they're ready.
Brandon's been sober almost a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once a year for me too.
He had a really bad problem. No, I'm just kidding.
I still do. Sitting next to me.
Yeah, there's really bad problems over here. Let me drink yours. What do you got?
My wife probably think I'm drinking beer here. No,
He got sick from the water,
Yeah.
and
Bacterial blood infection.
yeah, so he had to take a break anyways, and then it just
Just kept
parlayed.
it rolling, man.
I'm so proud of you, bro. Like,
Yeah,
dude.
proud of you.
I thought you'd lose a couple of lbs, but
Yeah.
you look healthy.
Bro, I will kick you. So you're here one more day. You go back tomorrow. Hurley sales meeting. Is it this weekend that the Bear Wires thing is? Or?
No, so it is the 31st or the 1st of May.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got some time.
I've got some time. We'll do a retailer event. So I do a retailer event every year. Usually we do it in our New York City office. We have a showroom there. And last year we had Kailani, and the year before that we had Fleet Toledo come out and hang out with retailers in my area and in the Mid-Atlantic. And then we'll take them to the student pool and go surf.
Nice.
Philippe was freaking ripping. That dude is absolute freak.
Freak.
Kai ripping too. But this year we're gonna do it a little different. We're doing the retailer event in Asbury Park. We were gonna do the contest that same weekend, but man, these kids have a lot of contests, so there's just some overlapping contest issues, so we ended up pushing it back a little bit, but works out good because Brett's gonna be able to make it with some athletes, and
Sick.
yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be an exciting month.
Awesome.
Epic.
One more day here, and
Any other things you want to promote?
that's it, really, man.
Okay.
Yeah, just promote, being stoked.
We can't wait to see another viral clip from you.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can come back strong. I've been doing a lot of physical therapy.
We'd like to see you in trunks though.
It'd be nice
We've
to
already
go-
seen you
It'd be
in
nice to go on a trip.
full suit, booties, and a hood.
The wife gave me the green light to go on a trip when I'm feeling 100%. So
Look at that.
maybe step off some Pasquales. That's always been on the bucket list.
There you go.
Or I don't know.
It's always happening there. It's
Right.
like one of those like,
It's just a hub.
yeah, it just sucks in like Porto there. It's like
Yeah.
3 feet everywhere, 10 foot there, 10 feet everywhere, it's 20 foot there. It's like, how does it? It just is a canyon that just gets massive.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming.
Yeah,
I know
dude.
it's late.
Thank you.
Stoked that you
Late one, right?
And
Late night with chocolate. Late night.
Yeah,
yeah, it is.
But yeah, stoked to have you come
Congrats.
out.
Thanks for
Sit
having me,
down.
guys. It's been awesome. It's been a pleasure.
Before you go, before we
We got some parting
Got-
gifts.
well, let us thank our sponsors.
So what did you think of that capacity non-alcoholic beer?
It was absolutely delicious.
Tasty,
Yeah, it's really good. I love it.
If you guys are looking for alternative to alcohol, check out Capacity. They have a few different flavors. I
This
think
thing is
it's
delicious.
yeah,
This one's,
Mexican lager,
yeah, the
Mexican.
IPA.
They have a blonde.
Against the grain.
Yeah.
This thing's awesome.
IPA.
Laura was drinking some Ashlands.
I was, yeah. It
He
was
drank
so
all his
good.
Ashlands. He didn't bring his shoots.
I did have a shoot in here.
Pokey and
No,
beer.
no, look, I just didn't get to it.
Oh, you didn't get
Shoots.
to the
I
blonde.
got the blonde right there. I have it in the arsenal.
Thank you to
Earth Pack.
Earth Pack.
Earth Pack makes all your packaging and bag needs.
Thank you to Fuax, Murph Electric, Malachi, Clearwater the brand. What else?
Yeah.
Northside Cafe,
That's where we're at.
Future Board Riders Club Cafe, or
Yeah.
Board Riders Cafe.
And we got
Bonsai Bowls,
Ooh, bonsai. And we got Scotia
Ola Mexican Kitchen, the brand
and Mahe.
Mahe. We have one. You're gonna have to come back with your wife
What
So
we
you-
got?
so you can enjoy.
We got dinner on us.
No way.
Yeah.
Come on.
So right down the road from where your hotel is at Pacific City is Ola Mexican.
You've seen that place
Insane.
probably.
And
Yes.
then they have the same owners have another what do you call it, like California Kitchen Infusion
Yeah,
brand. Yeah.
Sick.
And then they also have
Some
Mahe.
stickers. Our boys, it makes sense,
Dude, that's going right in the van.
right? And then this is a $50. What?
Yeah.
For the
That's
next
it.
time you come out.
Yeah.
This is the-
You
that's
got to
the
make
best.
a whole trip out.
Yeah, we're coming back out for the fall.
That's a round of
stuff.
beers.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
ran out of
For me.
bonsai bowl cards, but when you come back, we'll get you hooked
You
up.
guys are the best.
Yep. And then
And then
Oh, yeah, the
Skosh
Skosh.
Industries.
Dude,
So
check out
this is
this
the
thing's mental.
magnetic wireless speaker,
Mental.
little speaker, and then you got the
Magnetic water bottle.
yeah.
No way, it's for me.
So you can do your TikToks.
Or you can just
I'm
bury
gonna
it
go
on the
viral
beach.
in a whole different way.
You can just bury it on the beach and like you
this
get
thing's
your
snug.
shortbread clips.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it, guys.
Well, thanks to our sponsors, listeners. Thanks for hanging out and
Thank you
yeah,
guys for having
this is
me.
epic.
Tommy,
Appreciate
Pickles,
it.
Ihnken,
Tickle.
Tickles.
Tickles. I thought you said
You said that
Pickles.
twice. I corrected you twice.